you go. Unexpected, victorious, Tornado Energy.
2016 Wargaming.net League World Champions.
Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the Wargaming.net League Season 2. My name is Jordi Versmesse and on my left I have my usual Mihailo Jugovic Mojo. We're back.
We are back indeed after quite a while. It's been almost a month, I think.
Feels like an eternity, doesn't it?
Vacation is over, bro.
Vacation is over, not just for us, for the teams as well, obviously.
Time to do some business as usual.
Now Mojo, before we take a look at the teams, what are you expecting from this season?
Gunrunners! Well, we have a Czech invasion here, two new teams completely coming from the silver, Gunrunners and Isuba. We need to see how will they face all the usual culprits that are still here.
Indeed, and talking about those usual teams, let's take a look at them. There we have them. We have now 8 instead of 12 teams.
Yes, the last season was more or less like a cutthroat season. We shrank from 12 to 8 teams. And we lost some familiar names like Wild Bunch, Rage Quit and so on out of range. But still, we have our favorite Ding here. Isuba, well, they are second at least now with no games. We will see how will they fare in the future.
Well, Isuba and Gunrunner is 2nd and 4. Let's see if they can keep that after week 1. What do you think?
Well, we will see now how will Gunrunners actually face, but let's not go ahead.
It's going to be interesting to see Mojo. And talking about Gunrunners, they are going to be playing in our first match here. So let's take a look at those matches, Mojo. First up, it's going to be Gunrunners versus Kazna crew.
Gunrunners and Kazna, that's going to be a face-off. Gunrunners came as a top silver team. They won in their qualifier there. And they were above teams such as Isuba and so on. But we haven't seen them since. And that's been quite a while, almost like 2 months ago, I think.
Let's hope they prepared very well.
Yes.
After that, Utopia versus Swift.
Utopia and Swift. Utopia has 3 new players that came from CIS region, and Swift has 2. So we even have some different lineups here for you. So there's going to be quite an impact and change. How will they fare each other? How are they teamed up and so on?
Yeah, talking about roster changes, there's a lot of big ones this season. We'll get to that just yet, but there's a lot of roster changes. Going to be very interested to see out. We're not going to give away everything just yet, but there is some significant changes in a lot of teams.
Major shifts from left to right, some names that you will certainly recognize, and some new that we will get familiarized with them very soon.
Talking about getting familiar with the new teams, let's take a look at that first team sheet. Gunrunners coming up. Mojo, there is a familiar name there as well in that lineup. It is going to be...
Well, we see here, he's not on the list. Yes, actually
he
is. Danny is here. Danny is here.
Mojo.
So Danny came back to his home team, more or less. He spent last season in Gohard, but originally he actually came there from Gunrunners. And he played ESL Major Season 1 in Gunrunners. So he's back there. Of course, we know Fluky from some previous teams. We know Anji. Anji was the main player for them in the Silver League, the carry, the big bad boy.
Well, Unji knows what is at stake here. You know, if he doesn't perform, certain things will naturally occur to him.
Yes. Well, that's on your domain, bro. Your church where you pray in, but the Church of Fame. But we will certainly see Gunrunners play. As far as I remember, when I when we casted the playoffs of the silver, they played really aggressive and well. They were far above everyone else, including Isuba. So if they kept that play style, they actually might have a chance here. Also, they're guys that play along together. They are all Czech, so they will understand each other very well. And I really wish them all the luck because they're going to need it.
They are going to need it indeed. And Mojo, we had the chance, as we did last season, to talk to Unji from Gunrunners. Let's see what he thought about the season. Hello, Unji from Gunrunners, and welcome to Season 2 here from the Wargaming League. It's your first season as a team coming in. How do you feel about this?
Hello, Deki. So we feel like we are prepared for this, and yeah, we will try to do our best to don't be a second legend as the previous season.
Ooh, already calling shots here. Now, Unji, coming in as a new team, what is your biggest struggle going to be, you think?
Well, I don't think we have much such an experienced team as the other teams have, and even the players. So yeah, it will be the main issue for us, I think.
Now, Unji, if you look at the other teams in the league, how do you feel you currently match up? Like, around what position do you think you'll be in the beginning of the league?
Well, it's our first season, so we don't have big achievements for this. So I think it will be okay for us if we'll survive this season, to be fair. And I think there is Kazna, Ding, and the other teams, Oops, that as well. They are not on our level, to be honest, and yeah, we'll try to do our best.
Now, there is a second Czech team in the league, is Subat. Do you guys have a good relationship with them, or is it more of a rivalry? Are you like working together, or are you like just wanting to beat each other?
Well, we are more like rival. We are trolling each other and so on. Well, we have already some memes in between the teams, so yeah, it's pretty funny to see them here.
Looking forward to the memes now. Unji, if you have to give me a top 3 now for the end of the season, I need 3 teams. Who do you think?
Well, Ding, obviously. I think Oops and Kazna.
Those are fair picks. Now, Unji, you already play against Kazna. This is your first match. How do you feel against possibly playing against Wale?
Yeah, I hope Wale uninstall his things, and doesn't play Barbie and Tetris anymore. So yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out about that one. Best of luck in this season, Unji.
Yeah, thanks.
For both my and Unji's sake, I hope Wale is not watching.
Well, Vale is a big Barbie fan. Why should he be offended, man? Well, we'll see. Vale is a kind of a big guy.
Well,
if anyone saw him live, he knows.
he's like semi-big, but it's like the martial arts part that's scary.
Yeah, Vale is kind of muscle big guy. You're just big.
It's like me, muscly.
Of course, of course, of course. all energetic and everything.
But now, Mojo, let's take a look at their opponents, though. Kazna crew, they have undergone some changes as well. So let's take a look at the roster and see exactly what these have been. And Mojo, talk about it. The biggest change here for Kazna crew.
There is one big name missing here. As anyone can see, Ilian is nowhere to be found. He actually left for Ding. So we have a really huge change there. But they gained Diplomat from Gohard. We all know him playing that sick arty plays and Grille. And we see some familiar names here. Vale and Piotr coming from out of range.
Vale and Piotr indeed coming from out of range. But we talked about it, Mojo, beforehand. They have to be careful not to provoke the Pentakers. One player, okay. 2 players, now that is getting risky.
Fortunately, we don't have 2 Penta players here in Katowice. What would that mean for production here?
It's only 1.
Yes.
There can only be 1. Now, Mojo, what do you expect from Kazna crew coming into the season? Because we talked about it last season the entire time. They are slow starters.
They are really slow starters, and there's been quite a period of time after their last match. The last time they played, that was Championships Rumble, and they pretty much did a traditional loss to Navi 7-1. So that was not really a great display of them. But still, guys, they came 4th in the season, then they came 2nd in the playoffs here. In the season finals, they made 2 Challengers Rumble. They barely lost by 1 shot to Ding, and then played championship. So maybe they're still on a streak. We will see.
Mojo just likes to say that, so they win, but we'll see.
There is always that maybe, man.
Well, we'll see about that, Mojo. But just like with Gunrunners, we had the chance to talk to Vetso from Kazna crew, and let's see what he had to say about the beginning of the season. Vetso from Kazna Crew. Welcome back. Season 2 about to get underway. How do you feel coming into it?
Prepared and eager to play, eager to start playing.
Eager to play. That's what I like to hear now. Kazna Crew undergone some changes since last season. I mean, between the Rumbles and this season, and even right before this season, can you guide us through the roster changes your team has undergone?
Okay, so Ilian left to Ding after the Champions Rumble, and we got Call Me Piotr and Vale from Out of Range. They are our two new players.
How do you feel the loss of Ilian will affect your team? Because we always thought he was a key player as well in Kazna Crew. How do you think this season is going to go without him?
I think it could be better because, in my opinion, he's a really good player. But in my eyes, we have a couple of better players than him and a couple of more, should I say, team player-wise guys. But our additional two guys that we brought in from Out of Range, I think they're going to do a great job, just like Ilian did before in our team.
Now, obviously, you're going to have another big rivalry, we think, with Ding. Now, Ilian being in Ding, does this add on top of the rivalry, or it's still the same, you just want to take them down?
Still, I mean, I need to be honest, it added a little bit more rivalry, but I still think they are our top enemies, top opponents for the first place.
Now, Vetso, a lot of teams in the league have done a lot of roster changes as well. Who do you think are going to be the top contenders for those top three spots this season?
Well, in my eyes, Ding as always. Oops got a couple of good players like Milos and Deja. I need to put us as well in the top 3, but Oops, Ding, I think those are the best teams to be the top 2, top 3 places this season.
Before I let you go, Vets, I want to ask you, you have to play every opponent now 3 times this season. What do you think about this? Do you think this is good for you as a team, for you, the way you play, or does this work out better for other teams?
In my eyes, it doesn't work out for any team better than last season because you need to have more tactics, but maybe for the viewers, maybe just for the game, it's going to be better because there's going to be some basic tactics and teams are not going to show a lot of stuff. They're just going to play basic, and there's going to be a lot of normal, or should I say, normal game styles. Just playing, just brawling with other tanks, no disguises, no little sneaky tricks or anything like that. It's just gonna be full-out brawl because you can't have so many tactics prepared for so many matches, like you said, 3 times each team. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Thank you so much, Vetso, for your time, and I'm ready to see Kazna Crew rock the beginning of the season.
Thank you very much.
Mojo, I for one can't wait to see Ding play against Kazna Crew now.
I think there's going to be a show match of every 3 times, actually, all 3 times. I don't know about that solo play, team play thing, but I would definitely say Ilian was probably one of 2 most skillful players in Kazna, and in my eyes, it's going to be a great hit for them, especially because the transition period was such a short one, and I don't think they are really adjusted in 10 or 15 days to lacking such a pillar for them, I would say. I mean, Ilian is there since the Grand Final 1 with them when he came from Lemmington. So that's quite a hit.
Yeah, it is going to be quite a hit, but we can see today when they take on an arguably a little bit weaker team even to say, but Mojo, we have the maps ready, so let's take a look at the order that we're going to be played in today. First up, it is going to be Morovanka here.
Morovanka, I mean, this is the map that Kazna really played well when they were detecting the people that's hiding. Usually Stefan was doing that with his Grille. We will see how it goes now. Will this be a more aggressive or pro-aggressive match, because first team defending here is Gunrunners. Then we have Himmelsdorf. That's one of the best maps for Kazna. Then Ruinberg and Mainz. Well, we'll see how will that go because now they actually have a really good RT player.
Yeah, indeed, they have a very good RT player, but then again, we don't know that much about Gunrunners. They could have an RT player up their sleeve as well.
Gunrunners are a complete enigma. I mean, the only match that someone could see is pretty much the Silver League playoffs, and they played the Suicide Squad and Eclot Gaming there. So that's not really a big giveaway, and it's been quite a while ago, and meta changed by miles then.
Meta did change by miles, and let's take a look at those first lineups to see exactly how it changed. And already, Mojo, you can see double Kranwagen. Isna is going to butcher me for the pronunciation. I'm very sorry.
I really don't know. Kranwagen, I guess, is something like
It's
that.
only Kranwagen or something like that.
Well, he can mumble in his Viking whenever he wants. I'm not really fluent in that.
But no real surprise, I'd say.
Yes, 3 cooldown tanks we've been testing, and we made a video about this tank. It's really virtually unpregnable, except with RT when it's in cooldown. But it can be flanked, reload is not the best, so it has the weak spots, it has the great spots. We'll see how will actually those butchers do the job, because they're the ones who are supposed to protect them.
Mojo will indeed see how these Kranwagens work out in our first round of the season. Gunrunners versus Kazna Crew on Muravanka.
Muravanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
So Gunrunners versus Kazna Crew here. The first round of the season. Kazna Crew on the offense. Gunrunners going to be trying to defend this one. And Mojo, the start for both these teams, how does it look?
Well, we see Anji is pushed in his Kranwagen here. It's the best position for him on G1 because that position is perfect for such a tank. Minus 12 degrees of gun depression, biggest in the game with the biggest armor, so he can control the corner on E1. Kazna has that object tier 9 medium that is perfect for capping over there or even on a 2 cap, so we'll see how will they use it. Saigo is playing a 1390. What will be his survival rate against Stefan? That's also to be seen.
Can already see some glimpse there of the first person obviously introduced with this patch. A great addition. And Mojo, before people call us out, Kranwagen does not have the biggest depression in the game, but it does have it on tier 10.
I think Emil or something like that has...
Dicker Max, I think.
Dicker Max?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a tank on the lower tier that has minus 14 or minus 15. One
Wow.
of the two.
I even didn't know that, man.
So just before somebody goes in chat like, you are wrong, I'm just like correcting
Okay.
ourselves here.
Biggest gun depression of the tanks that we actually want to use.
Pretty much. And you can see here the first person, you can see exactly where Storm is looking. It's a great addition. Gonna definitely see some great things in there. We can already see Kazna Cruz pushing up slightly there with Haiba and Stefan and Isna trying to take that K-line control. And we'll see here, Danny also going a little bit aggressive and taking this forward position. Can be a good thing, but we've seen it be disastrous for some
Man,
teams as
I
well.
hope Dani has a good internet because first match he played in Go Hard, they were on brink of victory on Murovanka and he disconnected in a crucial moment. That was horrible.
He will be fine, I guess. You can see Danny here probably reloading heat ammunition at this point as he had shots available, but knows he has to fight against Lee5. Piotr there making a blind shot. Obviously, the only position he can get spotted from is that exact bush where Danny is playing.
So Piotr here, one of the new guys in Kazna, but we all know him from out of range. And pretty much the rest of the lineup except Diplomat is same for ages now. Now Diplomat, not in RT, but in Bachat, and Stefan, not in Grilla on Murovanka, but in TVP.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Kazna Crew obviously still have a lot of time available here. They've taken a decent amount of map control and now starting to blind fire those bushes, but it's going to take a while before they find Sigo.
I think usually it was Ilian playing TVP
Yep.
before. So they
It
did a
was
shit
usually
like that.
Alien indeed.
Haiba is probing on that K-line from the bushes, so they're trying to determine where is the spotter. Because if they find him, they can actually go and more or less try to trigger Gunrunner's reaction by capping. And with Gunrunners having 2 tanks like Kranwagen is, that's going to be a problem. Saigo is found. Saigo is found, and he's taking damage.
Already taking 2 shots there and a miss, and he goes down. Great stuff there from Kazna crew, finding the scout pretty early on in the game as well.
And Stefan again. He's a really good hunter for those scouts on this map. And Kazna obviously has a great detection system by talking to each other and probing different bushes and so on. So after 3.5 minutes they found a scout for this map. This is actually quite a good time.
This is indeed a very good timing for them here. They have to be careful because the counter push from Gunrunners will come out right now. Nexus will be the first one to receive. Martin gets tracked, repairs that. And you can see there the 1-2 line push is coming out. Nexus still holding. Martin takes a lot of damage, takes even more, gets tracked again. He should be going down here. Ondrax in the meantime pushing forwards as well, but this is costing them so much HP. And Nexus, he got off his 5 shots and he doesn't need to do anything else. Now he will go down, but he's pretty much taken down 2 Bachas for this.
I mean, he might even survive, actually, and go away for free, more or less. This is what I would call like a Ding defense, because Ding was a team leaving 2 Bachas before here on that side. But that really beat them, and since they started making triangle, it worked. Because with 3 Bachats in a crossfire there, you can pretty much endlessly defend, and you can see the result here. Andrax dead, Martan almost dead, Dani on 1/3 of HP. This game is pretty much Kazan's game already. 3k HP advantage.
Indeed, but it's not just over yet, Mojo. Unji there in the Kranwagen trying to do what he can, already connecting 3, but Will, in the meantime, is taking a lot of damage here. Piotr goes down to a 1-shot. He needs to be careful, but again, the trades are on par from Kazna crew. They take down Unji in the Kranwagen, and now 4 tanks left standing here for Gunrunners, but they have no more HP left.
There is nothing to be said here. I mean, most of these tanks are even in reload now. Maybe Bachats will come out to the reload shortly, but they are in really horrible positions. They cannot even leave it, and they're defending. Kazna can pretty much choose whatever they want to do, kill or cap.
Indeed, they have them surrounded from every single angle. Storm is the only one with HP left in at E5. He's almost full 1,600 left for him, but they lose Martin. They lost Dani before that. Now Will be the next one. He just about has reload available. It's not going to help him much, as there's just too many tanks from Kazna crew here, and this was a good start here. Pretty much what they needed. Going to pick up that first round on the Moravanka attack, and Mojo, we know the way the map plays out. This could already be a 2-0 start for Mojo. For Kazna, not for Mojo.
Well, it does look really well for Kazna. I mean, Kazna played Moravanka often much better than their stats would say. From the last season, they have about 46% win rate. That's really nothing special, if you say so. But their meta changed, progressed, and toward the end, it really worked well on Moravanka. So I would say their map is really experience-wise on their favor, on their side.
Yeah, I mean, just in general experience as well, I'd say, is on their side. I mean, Gunrunners is the first match of the season. Nerfs is always going to be an issue coming into that. Oh, guys, it's our first match. You know, you've trained for weeks, months even up until this point, but it's the first time it really matters.
We're going to see how will Kazna actually defend now, because Vetso hinted in his interview that they will not really change much. That they will just play some defaults. I would say that's a copy-paste from Ding, who did that entire season previously.
And it worked 18 times.
And it worked 18 times in a row. And
actually,
then
a couple of times more.
24 in total, as we counted, I
well,
think.
they're still undefeated in the EU region.
Yes, the only match they lost was on Championships Rubble, and it was against Hellraisers or Tornado Energy.
Tornado Energy.
Oh. So they lost that match, and that was the first match they actually lost. So
yeah, but you could just see here in this round, you know, once Seago goes down, Gunrunners is pushed into an attack, a counter push onto the 1-2 line where Kazna was just set up for it to receive it, and they pretty much slaughtered it, to be honest.
I was about to say, when they already found him, that they have 2 Crown Wagons in. If the spotter dies, they will be in a deep problem, because Crown Wagons are perfect in hold down when they want to shoot enemy below or whatever behind
when
the
they
hill.
have to leave it.
But when they have to leave the position and they open their flanks, they're like, I don't know, shooting ducks.
It's just the thing about the gun, you know, it's like Kranwagen with the gun, it's not that great. Let's take a look at the stats, though, where I'll probably be proven wrong. But no, actually, pretty right there. Will doing a decent amount. But as I was saying, like the Kranwagen, like you said, once it has to start moving, it doesn't have the greatest gun in the game. By far, it doesn't. Like, it is a heat gun. in these kind of
Everything
situations.
is a problem, even the armor
Yes.
then, because it can be penned with everything.
Yeah, and the gun, like on the move, it doesn't hit anything.
Yes, so that tank, it's not even the fastest tank.
No,
Like
no,
we
it's
did a
not.
speed test, even T57 is beating it on a short run.
Yeah, indeed. So most of the Gunrunners players there on the second page. No real surprise. Do I have anybody from this on my fantasy team? I have Durs, but he's not playing. And I have Piotr.
I have the results, man.
I know, right? They need to put him in.
It is not justice. I'm gonna do ugly duckling again.
But now, second round, Kazakh defending. I mean, this is a comfortable position for them, to be fair.
Pretty much, they just have to check out what are the Gunrunners doing. This is more or less reaction map. I mean, rarely people just try to attack when they're defending. And it can work. We know it can work. But usually you just wait for other people's reaction and then you rotate. And if you guess the rotation right, you win. If you do a wrong rotation like Gunrunners did now, well, we saw what happened there.
Yeah, but still impressed by the way Kazakh crew managed to find Seago in pretty much 2 minutes. And already, let's take a look at the lineups for the second round here coming into Moravanka. It's still Gunrunners against Kazakh crew. And here, Gunrunners, they're adapting, but so is Kazakh crew. Emil 2 Mojo.
Emil 2, this is a tier 9 Swedish heavy tank, which has pretty much similar stats as a tier
Yeah.
10. It's just 1 point less, so tier 9, and they can play together with Bachat 18.
The gun is also
13,
still a
9.
little bit worse. It has a little bit longer interclip and between shots as well, and 10 millimeters less third armor.
Still, they can put it in that
Yeah, the 1-2
position
line.
on a end line, yes, and they can protect it from there. Also, they have an IS-7, and they can do a much bigger attack with the other tanks. Also, tier 9 Bachat can be used instead of...
But Mojo, we talked about it. It is weak against Artie, and this is exactly what Gunrunners brought to the table.
I'm expecting actually Kaza not to wait for them with this lineup.
That could work into the favor of Gunrunners still, though, if they set up correctly. What I'm still surprised by is what I talked to you before this, before the broadcast even. When are we going to see an Udes?
Udes, Daki hinted, it's tier 10 TD, tier 8 TD of the Swedish line. It has really great camo value. It goes fast forward, backwards. I mean, it's really good spotter and a great gun, also with great DPM. So our guess is sooner or later it's going to be used, but also it can be a problem because it doesn't have a rotational turret also, so some teams might be hesitant to use it. Also, Daki thinks because it has a lower view range, it's actually going to be beneficial for defender because he will spot more or less only what they need, and it's going to be harder for attackers to guess where it is because of the lower view range.
And the angles make it so that I can actually bounce some shots.
Yes, he can actually defend himself in that way, passive way.
But I like this. I like this from both these teams. I mean, Gunrunners bringing RD, that's cool. We'll see how they decide to use him. But, you know, the Swedish heavy tanks coming out, I'm a fan. This is I'm glad to see teams at least trying to use them. So let's find out into the let's go into the second round here and find out what this Swedish master race can actually achieve. And it's going to be Gunrunners attacking now, Mojo. And what do you expect Kazakh crew to do? Because you said you don't expect them to just sit in the base.
I'm expecting actually they will do the pressure because RT games are really hard. You need to pinpoint the enemy and then just shoot them while they're stationary. I'm thinking they will try to get the control, and there's theirs. Oh, thank you. They'll take control of the forest maybe, which they're doing.
Yeah, indeed. Already 3 bat shots over there, taking very early control. Onrex does get spotted out. You can see Vetso is going to be playing that Emil 2 there. Fairly quick, Stefan is going to be the spotter, and it all depends on how long those Gunrunners take to realize this flank is coming out here from Kazna crew.
Well, Kazna is pretty well distributed. They have Vetso there. He needs to get to that H1, G1 position. That's going to be a bit tricky because it's a slow tank, so he's scared to cross now so he wouldn't get shot in the flank. But they also have a Diploma to help him and TVP. So more or less all the rotation is done by French mediums.
RD shot. RD just shot. But base capture has started. 1 tank on there, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Let's take a very good look at that, as it's very easy to lose track of that timer.
Well, as we said already, Kranwagen and Emil and that line, they're not the really fastest ones, but Vetso is slowly limping there, and he will has a great cooldown against these tanks, and heat shells ready.
How much will he take as damage though? Because Unji is waiting in that 1-2 line. You can see it over there. And Storm is the first one up. 15 seconds here. Kazna crew, they're starting to surround. Gunrunners needs to make sure they don't get trapped here. 9 seconds left now at this point. Piotr makes the shot, doesn't connect it, but fire comes in from the back line. Does get reset, and now they are in a crossfire. And look at the damage Will is taking in that Crown Wagon, already down to 800 HP. Ondrex is taking a lot as well. Now Storm in the E5 getting focused down, and Gunrunners kind of let themselves get surrounded here by Kazna crew.
This is a horrible play now by them, honestly, because Kazna just outthought them from the start. And by the pick of Kazna, they could have guessed what's going to be done. Like, they could have guessed the Kazna will just not wait for it. Kazna was one of the teams that got capped on Muravanka not once, but 2 or 3 times. They're not going to allow it again. They're not going to just allow it to happen again.
Indeed, they already lost Will in the Crown Wagon. Now Storm is a one-shot as well. Stefan's coming over in the TVP. Can he pick something up? Lands the first on Ondrex, picks him up. Now maybe he gets Storm as well. One more shot in the clip for Stefan. Oh, a low roll doesn't connect it. Daniax actually kills Stefan from full HP. That's a lot of HP gone, but there's just too much remaining here for Kazna crew.
It's 3000 HP advantage. Martin has a dead gunner, and they have an arty. I mean, Dani would have to pull off 2 more shots like that just to come back in the game.
Yeah, indeed. It doesn't look like Kazna crew is going to give Dani that possibility to do so as they are pushing forwards. Martin takes another shot there. Nexus is now coming in. He goes down. Unji and that Gorilla is just, sitting in the open at this point. He'll go down towards Piotr, and it's just Enrico and Dani left standing.
Well, maybe Dani can shotgun one. Just for the lulz.
Nope.
Or not.
Nope. And Enrico now the last guy. Again, 6 players from Kazna crew. I mean, there's always the potential here, but it's very unlikely as he takes a lot of shots. One more. Vetso is the one to pick it up. And 2-0 already. Very quick games here for Kazna crew.
Rather quick and aggressive game as we predicted. And Gunrunners are not looking the best, at least not on this map.
No, indeed. And that was, that rotation coming through the forest with 3 Batchats is not the first time this has happened when teams see an Artie.
No, if you studied Kazna a bit more and better, I would say tactically, you would even know that they are doing it. They are doing it, and quite often. They were even caught by doing it, so as we saw once or twice. But Kazna, rather easy stroll on this map. Great plays, secure plays even, with new members.
Yeah, indeed. And Gunrunner is going to have to show just a little bit more if they want to take it to Kazna crew. I mean, kind of just have to forget about that map, move on.
Well, they tried to adjust to meta. They took some Swedish tanks. They tried to play with RT, but it just didn't work out because RT still provokes a slow play by the attacker. And then you have to do perfect defense, but still you have to stretch over the map and risk. And Kazna just used it really well.
Rotations whatsoever. 3 guys on the cap, and then the spots were really late.
It looked like really a blind play.
Yeah, indeed, and the statistics here. There's my man.
Yay! I think he will be the my man of everyone in the league, man. I mean, we're talking about ESL Fantasy that started, guys, so who didn't just go and apply. And
I think it's fantasy.eslgaming.com/WOT.
Yeah, and Durs actually has a very specific price range there, so you will notice he's very beneficial.
Well, I have Durs and Piotr in this match.
So, well, then you're doing good, man. So far, so good.
Mojo, after last season, we're not messing around anymore. We're going for the win. And, like last season, I gave it to Ryan pretty much on a silver platter. Like, here, Ryan, take it. I just want to make you feel good. But this season, it's business.
Vengeance.
Especially after he made that Facebook post saying that all he wants to do is smash me now. Now Hook Smash will come in.
We just blame the system. It was not perfect last season.
Exactly.
So it was the system, not us.
We're now Mojo's second map here, Himmelsdorf, and you said before, one of the better maps for Kazna crew.
One of the most played maps. Over 60% win ratio, pretty confident there. I mean, Kazna played Himmelsdorf since the very beginnings. That map never left the map pool of ESL and Wargaming League. So I would say they will be rather confident there.
Hopefully. I mean, we have seen them lose on Himmelsdorf as well. Most memorably, Legend.
That was legendary match, man.
I still remember
It happens once in ever.
Happens once in a lifetime.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, for this match, ideally, I had like a 5-1 in mind, maybe 5-2 for Kazna crew. And I just want Gunrunners to show something. You know, it's going to be a long season for them. They're going to play a lot of matches. And, you know, this is all about proving themselves. I mean, they don't have to take the win against Kaznakru in the first match.
Well, if Gunrunners do well on Himmelsdorf now, they might have a chance because after that there is Ruimberg and Mainz. That's tricky maps. And then tiebreaker is again Himmelsdorf. So this is kind of a key map for them because if they don't take at least minimum one game with that, this is going to be a landslide.
You think they need to take one game on Himmelsdorf?
Minimum. Two actually to come back in a game properly, but they need one to just have chance to play at least 3 or 4 maps.
Let's take a look at the highlights here from the last game. Here they were surrounded by Kaznakru and just, I don't know how they allowed it to happen. And Stefan here gets wiped out.
Pretty much Stefan really got shot by Arti, but he already did the damage, so the deed was done and it didn't really matter. Also the rotations by Kazna were already done. They were in position to deal with everything that Gunrunners had. Having 3 tanks stuck in a cap and Arti on the side, it really doesn't help.
Kinda doesn't know. And that Kranwagen again didn't get used to its full potential, was caught in the open once more. But Mojo, let's get into the third round here already on Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
So Mojo, Gunrunners versus Kaznakru, currently 2-0 for Kaznakru, and you can see the lineups here. Mojo, what do you think? What do you think? Can Gunrunners do it?
Well, miracles happen. There is always a Cinderella story and things like that. But we will see how will reality face it. Kazna is playing rather standard here with RU spotter on the hill, but also playing with 2 Bachats. So that's going to be interesting because that will allow them a lot of rotations. So that's a bit of a different meta. So 2 1-1-3s, 2 50Bs, 2 Bachats, quite a rotational setup there. On the other hand, Gunrunners taking over the control of the rail, expecting maybe a hard push there by Kazna, which is not coming there. And they're playing again with one more Swedish, Emil. Emil tier 9.
It's going to be interesting to see where this tier 9 Emil will get used. And look at his defense from Gunrunners, Mojo. Ooh, he's here. This could be a very strong position. Look where he is, and he's in A5. Just noticed that on the minimap. Look, I don't think you can dig him out from there. But then again, if Kaznakru takes the cap, it doesn't really matter.
If Kazna does the rotation faster than Gunrunners, we know one way that that tank can be dug up. They'll just send someone to clip him to death. That someone will take a lot of damage, but Emil does not have a potential to kill anyone except Ru here, on hands one-on-one.
Oh, indeed, and now the rotation here from Komi Piotr down at 8 line. In the meantime, Haiba and Stefan are already in that 0 line. Dani is now moving back as well, and Mojo Fala is in the lineup.
Oh, we have a United Nations of Kaznak here, man. They're changing one player every game.
Yeah, but they took theirs out, so I don't know about this, man.
Yeah, rip my fantasy again, man. Last season I had Vala and he was on vacation for a couple of weeks.
Ooh, but look at that position that Haiba took, though. Once Martin peaks, he is in trouble, especially in that RU251. He'll take at least 2 shots running away.
Pretty much. Let us see. Ondrax here got a bit owned by even high alpha of a Haiba there. But they know where he is. But they're still not showing their tier 9.
Why did Martin not shoot at Haiba?
Piotr is also spotted. He was probably scared if he turns the turret that Piotr will clip him.
Yeah, but that's damage lost out on.
I think it would be more hurtful for Gunrunners if they lost damage on Martin than just shooting Haiba.
Now Haiba connected another shot onto Ondrax here, and Dani takes 1 from Stefan, takes 2 from Stefan even. 680 there. Kaznakru chipping away a little bit of the HP here from Gunrunners, but so far no decisive moves just yet.
Well, nothing is needed. There is only 3 minutes in a game. And there we go. This is a rotation. They will probably try to catch them off guard. Maybe even successfully, because a Bachat and T10 are pretty much alone over the rail there. Will is a bit far away in his 50B, so it's questionable how he'll be able to actually help them.
Ondrax here still. controlling that northern side, but the main issue is going to be that K-line, which Kazna Crew is now backing off from, and not that many tanks in position here to decap from Gunrunners.
Kazna really has to do some damage to Gunrunners because their setup is quite light. And if they make a single mistake in attack, they're gonna probably lose the game. At the moment they're doing well and HP is pretty much equal. Cap is on 50% and Kazna completely throwing all of their cards on a top 2 cap.
Enrico there spots out Vetso moving down the 8 line, but 20 seconds left here. There's going to have to be a quick rotation from Gunrunners. It seems like both these teams will come into a head-to-head engagement here on the B line. Martin already takes a shot, and he's going to have to be the one to reset. There we go. Gets the reset, but he gets tracked. Takes some damage, but he does some in return towards Haiba. And Gunrunners here, the main issue is that they're just bleeding HP all over the place. And now Vale is in a one-on-one with Unji there. So this could be the changing factor here if Martin survives. And Vale goes down here towards Unji. Unji has 2 more shots, 1 more shot. He needs a high roll to pick him up. Can he get it? No. Vale survives on 63 HP and is now pushing forwards towards Unji. Unji will take at least 1 more shot running away there. Gunner goes down as well. And Rico should be able to support him. And Gunrunners still 2k HP down.
Piotr is going full speed to help out Vale before Unji can run away and do another clip. Unji is on really low HP now. The problem for Gunrunners now, except being on lower HP, as we can see obviously here, is they lost HP on crucial tanks needed for rotations. So yes, Kazna lost some HP on Haiba and on Vale. Vale as 1-1-3. But Vale is supposed to lose HP. But when you lose HP on Bachats and 50Bs, that's kind of a problem because the other team can walk you around the map then.
Martin there tries to connect a shot again. Stefan does not get it. Piotr here, only 2 more shots available. Vala still has to be careful as Enrico is now pushing forwards in that T10, and it's not just over just yet here for Gunrunners as Diplomat and Nexus are now pushing forwards together with Vetso. Seems like they want to kill those tanks in that A6 position. Storm is the first focus as 50Bs are unloading their clips onto him. 2 more shots will do it. There we go. Diplomat picks it up. Now Stefan will probably come around that corner, finish off Martin, and in the meantime, Gunrunners trying to make a play here towards the southern side, but there's no Kazna crew tanks left to catch out.
Yes, Kazna is really walking them around. As we said, their fast tanks are just playing with Gunrunners. They're fading on a map and appearing where Gunrunners are not actually certain they will attack in full speed. And now they're finding them surrounded in this 5 line.
Surrounded they are as Stefan unloads his clip, but now Dani and Ondrax are both one-shot. Ondrax picks up Stefan, but Vetso just has too much HP really for them to deal with it. And there is Diplomat coming in as well as Ondrax goes down. Dani soon to follow, just Will and Enrico standing, and again Kazna crew just very, very dominant in this game.
And this is a clear 3-0 Himmelsdorf attack picked up by Kazna already, we can freely say it. Even a miracle would be too much for Gunrunners at the moment.
Indeed, and Vale, who got clipped by Unji, still alive, still doing damage at this point, and on the first bad round here for Vale, he picks up Will. Might even get some damage onto Enrico as Enrico lets off a shot against Vetso. Vale will come around the corner and give him a big shot here. There we go. And he's still alive.
Still alive and kicking, boys!
Pretty much as now Enrico will probably get picked up by Vale, who comes around the corner. There we go. Kazna crew 3-0.
Really confident and easy 3-0. Pretty good display for Kazna,
Yes.
especially for a first match in a season, which is usually the one they blunder the most. But there we go.
Mojo, don't jinx it. There is always the potential for
Swift return.
I mean, a swift return. Wow. But there's always the potential there for an out of range to happen, you know, being down 4-0.
Yeah. We've seen that happen, and they have a couple of those players there. But they're now mixed with Kazna guys, so who knows. Why we mentioned Swift is
Well, you have the out of range
season.
curse and then the penta curse, so does that really match out the 5 other players? I'd say it's like equal.
We are 2 at like Voodoo Dolls and Mojo and, you know, Juju. We're just gonna stick to tanks. A bit.
But yeah, Vala staying alive there is good. I mean, Gunrunners, again, just being dragged around the map, leaking damage everywhere.
It started slow. Kazna was probing where Gunrunners are. Gunrunners were playing more or less passive. They were scared of traps, obviously, because Kazna had such a fast lineup. And look at this. Vale, the guy who was on one shot all the time, almost 4.5k damage in his 1-1-3. That's brutal, man.
Yeah, not bad there from Vala to do 4.4k damage.
After playing Tetris and Barbies,
Yeah,
113 is easy.
seems like it was a good idea after all not to uninstall his things. Oh, but Unji again, pretty good performance. He's been on that top half of the leaderboard for, I think, the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, but there we have Danny again. He's keeping to his bottom positions, man.
Wow,
Not
man.
really good games.
Storm and Martin are below him.
Yeah, pretty much. Not really great games, not really great display by Gunrunners. They were trying to keep up with Kazna movements on the map, but simply they were always one step behind. Kazna always kept 1 or 2 tanks in a fade who were attacking the crucial positions where Gunrunners left someone behind, and they were always playing with health, not giving enough of damage.
We'll have to see if Gunrunners could possibly attack. I mean, maybe their strength is going to be on the Himmelsurf attack. You never know.
No, it can happen, of course. Like, if you play aggressive enough or take the positions enough, you can always come back in a game. As we were saying, like Swift last season in the second half, out of like last 5 or 6 matches, they have like 4 time breakers. They were coming from 1 to 4 several times when we already had a casket open, stake through the heart and everything. Right? Everything is possible.
Well, Joe, let's be real. You want Kazna to win this 5-0.
Of course.
I think Gunrunners, they can still do it. I'm going to have to be on their side. You know, Unji is getting dangerously close to going to somewhere else. But let's take a look at the lineups for the 4th round already, Mojo. Swedish, no Swedish, but an IS-4 though from Kazna.
Let's see, Kazna Ice4 in defense. That's an old school one. I mean, now after the patch, even Ice4 has that roof fixed finally, so it's not that much of a weak spot.
Does it?
Yep.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
And pretty much standard lineup by Gunrunners. They have only a Grille instead of a budget. And the 1390, that means they will not really do that uber fast spot on a hill. But still, 1390 can be used for that also.
Mojo, is it going to be 4-0 or is it going to be 3-1?
I kind of like the Kazna lineup a bit more here. Because that Grille is kind of situational, how you use it. You really have to lure the enemy to the trap so you can use it to full potential. They also have a 1390, Kazna has a tier 9, so I think Kazna has a bit more better lineup.
Still siding with Kazna. It is Mojo. I don't know. I don't know about this IS-4. I really don't like the tank. The gun, it really annoys the hell out of me.
Well, obviously, since they have it, it's going to be a positional tank and everyone else will rotate around it. So, more or less, how you position the IS-4, that's how the other guys will evolve. Usually it's used in the top cap, but we've seen people abandon it on one line to control the open cap from the far behind the gas tanks.
Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see, and I hope Gunrunners can show us something that gives us signs of hope. So let's jump into the 4th round here. Could be already match point here for Kazna crew as they take on the defense. Gunrunners is going to be on the attack, and Mojo, what do you expect Gunrunners to do? Blitz onto the number 2 base?
I don't really think they will blitz anything with this setup. Like, playing with Grille needs time to set up. He will go on a hill to set up to see is there any target. He needs a spotter for that. At this time they chose actually a Bachat, which is a new one, to play with him, and 1390 will, I guess, then have to spot the courtyard. Kazna knows to play aggressive on courtyard. It's not unheard of. But this time, with IS-4, they obviously chose to play a bit slower. So Grille is already waiting to see can he shoot someone on the 8 line. You can see how he positioned for that. Piotr did a fast spot. He knows there is someone on a hill. And Kazna really didn't expect any kind of serious rail push. You can see that by not committing too much tanks down there.
Indeed, Ondra Expo now get out of there as he got his initial spot. In the meantime, Will took the 8 line hold on position. Enrico spotting out Vetso there. And what is the next move here going to be from Gunrunners?
Well, they need to try to make Kazna rotate like Kazna made them, run around the map, bleed their HP, do something. So they need to spot the 2 cap. They need to see first where is IS-4. That's the crucial part for them. They already know where is T10 in the windows on G2 position. We've seen it used also by Gunrunners before. And while they're doing that, they have to protect their back because they don't know will Kazna actually give them the chase over the lower part of the map or not.
Yeah, indeed. And so far, they're just they seem to be waiting for something. Not sure what, but they are waiting for something. Perhaps talking about how to approach this defense from Kaznakru.
And they're waiting for maybe some impatient move by Kazna, but in last matches, I think Kazna was actually really well timed, so I don't think that will happen. And Haiba is finally spotted, we can see it on a map. So they have idea how is the team composition. Now they need to think of a strat, how to actually break it.
Diplomat gets spotted out again, makes a shot, does not connect it. He didn't even see Enrico crossing back out of there. So, I mean, Gunrunners have some info, but now, perhaps now they pull their 1390 out of that window position, they will be relocating him towards the hill and then make an approach towards that number 2 base.
Yes, I would say even maybe the 3090 can do a cap from a top part of the A line, because Kazna is not really protecting it, and they would have to go and commit and counter-attack it. That would be the only safe spot for the 3090. Everything else would be a bait from the lower side of the map, but that we know is open. Because if Kazna presses over the courtyard, they can reset from there easily.
Yeah, these 50Bs actually got down the 8 line without getting shot. We saw Diplomat there coming very close to perhaps trying, but didn't connect one. Now Stefan is taking more control on that southern side of the map here. And now with that IS-4, but Haiba pulled back very far, so they can start capping.
Yes, very fuzzy camo by Gunrunners, those with those blues, hexagons or squares. Looks a bit like a Chinese army, honestly, if you ever saw their camo values.
Look at that damage Danny took to in his gorilla. Took 811 there, probably from Diplomat. You can see that the setup from Haiba is binoculars with double repair kit and rations. So for that extra view range to spot the gorilla.
And they're risking if he gets set on fire, but it's a doable risk, especially if they never plan to leave him behind somewhere, angling, so no one can really shoot his engine. So if he's going to be used more or less in this kind of lineup as a battering ram, and we saw that he has a binos, so they never wanted to leave him behind, yeah, it's okay, because he will soak up a lot of damage if someone is shooting him with heat in the tracks. There's his back in lineup, by the way. So we have some points there. And when he soaks up that, the other clippers from Kazna will push.
Ondrax there got a lot of information for his team now. Stefan's in the courtyard, and he got spotted out against Will, and there comes the push from Kaznakru. They're now moving across that AB line with the biggest part of their tanks, and Ondrax takes so much damage for an overextension there. 3 shots left for him. Cap gets abandoned, but in return, Nexus is taking so much as well in his AMX 50B, minus 1.5 there. A great shot from Dani from the hill, and Gunrunners finally trading equal with Kaznakru.
It's a big trade that came here, and they're more or less equal, we would say there, but problem is Nexus is on 1 shot now. But still, the cap pressure is not really significant now, and the guy in a problem is Will, who tried to chase Stefan.
Yeah, and Stefan there, luckily enough, having a fire extinguisher, kind of blocking theirs as well. And there comes the support from the 50Bs. If Will can survive, and Stefan, he's on fire again. He's going to go down here. Second fire, Will picks them up. Now theirs is clipping onto Will, but it took so long. Enrico is coming from behind, but he has to be careful as Nexus is there. They're going to be losing that 1390 most likely, but not before he does a ton of damage. The Gorilla from the hill also coming in, and Gunrunners actually with a 2-tank, well, actually 1-tank advantage, excuse me, lead here over Kazna.
It looks perfect for Kazna because they did not really do a great counter-attack now, but it's still not over. HP is rather similar, and I think most of the autoloaders of Gunrunners are without shells. So if Kazna does something in next 30 seconds, they will be back in the game. If not, it's pretty much GG, because having a lot of HP on tanks like Grille, at the end of the game, it doesn't really help.
Biggest issue here for the lineup of Kaznakru is going to be that Haiba is in no man's land by himself in that IS-4 pretty much. And this is what I like from Gunrunners, the rotation coming out. They know that Kaznakru is going to try and surround them, but they say no.
They are using the speed of their tanks, but it does look like Kazna is more or less guessing it because they already sent tanks down. The question is at hand, honestly, will that be enough? Because Gunrunners had a lot of mobile tanks, clippers, autoloaders on the way there. And honestly, Piotr in that tier 9, I don't see a way for him to survive backed up only by Nexus on 250 HP.
Unji takes a big shot there from the Gorilla. That was Diplomat from that B5 position on the crossing. He's not going to be happy with that one. That pretty much evens out the game once more. Vetso has to be careful not to overextend this. There is a Danny waiting in his Gorilla as well. And now the tanks from Gunrunners did get across. And I'd say with 3 minutes and 6 seconds left, there is still potential here for good play from them.
Gunrunners are looking really good in this game. Honestly, Kazna brought some bad decisions in that counter-attack, and they certainly didn't pay off. But the question is, what will Gunrunners do now? Now it looks like they want to press one cap more. That can pay off only if they actually score a kill now.
I don't like that Piotr position in a bush. That is very, very easy to recognize this.
It is, but we will see how skilled are Gunrunners to actually expect something like it. Piotr will provide good spots for his team there, and eventually, if needed, he will do some decapping himself. But it's all about HP at the moment. So Storm doesn't even guess he's there. They're trying to kill Nexus, who is really on a thread line there.
You can see there's Storm in that 1-1-3. Got very close to getting that shot. Diplomat now looking across the 3 line, trying to find an angle. Danny's still on the hill. He needs to make sure that he has the right timing. And the biggest issue here, Mojo, is going to be the fact that, like you said, Piotr is there and he can reset. And if he resets once, they need to put 2 tanks on the count.
Yes, then they need to risk entering Diplomats and Vetso's fire line, which will be a huge problem. They can even sacrifice Piotr in that moment. It doesn't really matter, because it's actually exactly what Kazan is doing. They're going to wait for the last moment for this to happen.
Yeah, they're going to wait very long, and then Piotr does one reset, dies for it, but in return they will be getting...
I would say Diplomat now loaded some HE and he's just trying to shoot corners to see if he splash by accident.
He won't get that shot.
No, he won't, of course.
56 seconds here with 1 minute and 23 on the clock, but in return, Haiba here, he is going to go down as Unji comes around the corner, finds that IS-4, 3 shots will do the job. Full clip pretty much. Haiba, he's in trouble. He can't do anything, and this is pretty good here from Gunrunners actually, with 2 tanks on the other cap. They will actually have enough time to still capture number 2 base. And now Storm is the bait.
This is actually brilliant and really good team decision by them. Kazna is now in a dire pickle. I mean, they will sacrifice Piotr here, but base 2, how will they defend against that? They have 3 cappers there now.
Base 2 is under massive pressure as now Storm spots out calmly Piotr. Piotr will go down here probably for that in return. There we go. Piotr goes down. Now Vetso and Nexus, they are scrambling to get back into the game. Vetso will take a big shot, hopefully. No, actually doesn't connect it. Nexus goes down, but Vetso is on reload. Danny did not connect onto the T10. 6 seconds left here. Diplomat's coming from behind. They need to take down Vetso here. 3 seconds. Vetso gets the reset, but Diplomat will be the only one standing. He takes down Ondrax, but Vetso goes down, and this should still be, well, will it be? This should still be the game here pretty much for Gunrunners.
And they should win this because there is more than enough time to kill that one Grille. And Danny will reload faster than Diplomat.
But they need more than just Danny. 829, Danny needs HE, but Martin, he's there. 3 seconds left. He needs 2 more shots. No, Danny picks it up, and it will be Gunrunners in the last 3 seconds of the game to pick up their first round.
It came really close for them, but it was a great game.
Yeah.
Eventually, it was a great game.
And Danny missed on Vetso. I mean, if Danny hits that shot on Vetso, there is no reset. Maybe one.
Maybe one, but still. It was a really great tactical decision by Gunrunners to trigger 2 capes in the same time. I don't think Kazan saw it coming.
No, Kazan was sitting there like, well, Piotr, you reset in about 15 seconds, then we win the game, we go match point.
Still, even if Kazan saw it coming, I don't think they actually had any potential to do anything about it because their tanks were pretty much crippled. They lost most of their fast tanks. The ones that were remaining alive are Nexus and Piotr. Piotr was busy in the bush, and Nexus was on 250 HP. You don't leave a tank like that behind. So who will actually deal with this situation? So they left Haiba.
They sent Diplomat.
Yeah, they left Haiba, who is tier 9. So what happens with him, but he cannot deal with the Clippers. He's a single shooter tank.
You know, Haiba and that IS-4 can obviously not deal with any of those Clippers. And there was good stuff there from Gunrunners. I mean, it got very close in the end, but luckily Martin just quick enough. And I mean, even Danny with HE could have killed Diplomat.
Yeah, but still, like if someone just rammed him and one shot by Danny, that's about it.
Great stuff there from Unji again. I mean, he has had a really good performance in this. game so far. Danny there also in-game leading, 2.6k damage, Diplomat 2.7. Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Well, as we mentioned, Unji was always a crucial member of their team when it comes to the damage. But Diplomat is obviously a good reinforcement here for Kazna. And Kazna losing a defense on Himmelsdorf with Vetso and Nexus. I would say Vetso in T10 not that much to blame here, but Nexus picking up all the damage in their counter-attack. That's pretty much
I
what
also
costed
still
them
don't
a
know
game.
what happened there between Durz and Stefan. Was Durz reloading? Was Stefan blocking Durz? Because when Stefan was
It looked
playing
really odd and
yes,
bad.
like because to me it just seemed like Stefan was pretty much blocking Durz, and then
It
Durz
looked
was
greedy, man. It just looked greedy for a couple of more shots before running away. And I'm pretty
Not
sure
sure.
that Durz actually had a clip.
Yeah, I think so as well. A little bit of miscommunication there. Possibly Stefan should have let Durz through in that situation.
Armor is better, and especially position and
But
everything.
you know what to say? Karma's a Karma's a very friendly woman.
Nice lady there. But that was a great payback here. And Gunrunners did well.
Yeah, and moving on to Ruenberg, well, they need to win this 2-0, I think.
I think Gunrunners are defenders on every possible map we have at the moment first. So they
Nope,
will be
Kazna is defending on Ruenberg first.
100% sure?
I'm willing to bet my life on it.
Let's see.
I'm fairly certain about it. But now, Ruenberg, Mojo, what do you think from both these teams?
Experience comes to effect here. Kazna played it much more. I would say they weren't very successful always, but they should have a good idea what to do, while Gunrunners, it's a questionable how much time they had to play it against the best teams, and timing is everything here. I mean, we've seen the lineups, let's say, with CDCs. You miss for like 1 centimeter how to position the tank, and everyone can decap you.
Yeah, but it didn't seem to matter for Tornado Energy, if you remember that one.
Yes, but they really team played it well, man, and they even did a double cap and block then, and it's a lot of details, and devil lies in details always.
Indeed, man. We've seen Kazna had some great performances on Ruenberg as well. Against Swift in the online qualifier comes to mind, where they pulled back a game with like 3,000 HP down on attack. So, but I'm willing to give at least a defensive round to Gunrunners. I mean, Ruenberg is possibly one of the hardest maps to attack.
Pretty much. So
Unless you're playing against a less experienced team, then it actually becomes easier.
it does look like it will end on mines, honestly.
Maybe.
But if Gunrunners have something interesting in their sleeve and they surprise Kazna here,
I'm so ready for the lineups. I just kind of cheated, and I'm like, yes, yes.
you're alive.
Oh,
Your life is safe.
well, it's gonna be, Mojo. I can't tell you honestly. I can't tell you. I have to wait until that graphic comes up, and the tank names are there.
Oh
Then I
dear.
can tell you.
I can see your screen from here, man. It doesn't matter. Well, Gunrunners here are definitely underdogs. Less experience, questionable training partners they could have compared to Kazna, who are the team that are pretty much forever in this league. They can pick a training partner from any server, and we will see just can Gunrunners outthink them like they did on the last map.
Well, Mojo, let's take a look at those interesting lineups moving on to the next map. Ruenberg here. Oh, they're back.
The Mouses of Tornado. So we have a VZ132 in Kazna lineup, something that we've also seen used by Tornado in the finals.
Yes. Was it Nesquik playing that?
Yes, he was
Most
like...
annoying bugger on a VZ.
He did like almost 3k damage, man, and most on Pashat.
Most annoying WZ I've seen in my life.
Seriously, like he was chasing now, smack, 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 smack. Like he was chasing Pashat in reload, and they were just like, come on, man, stop shooting us already.
Although this is, good from Gunrunners, because this will force Kazna crew to play not like they wanted to.
No, these Mouses, when they push, they are a big hazard there. And TVP also will prevent Kazna to put someone in a hideout.
Well, Mojo, let's find out if Gunrunners can pick up another round here as we move into our third map, Ruenberg.
Runeberg, a mixed type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the centre square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
So here we go, Gunrunners versus Kazna Crew, 3-1 in favor of Kazna Crew. Gunrunners on the attack with the triple mouse. Yes, indeed, a triple mouse from Gunrunners.
This game actually looks quite well, and this is opening something very similar to what Tornado Energy did on Championships Rumble, with push of these mouses through the middle, but Enrico, he got pretty much wrecked here.
Oh, and Stefan got greedy there, missed the shot onto Enrico, took a lot of damage in return, and so far, Gunrunners a very aggressive opening here. Both Stefan and Diplomat are kind of locked down, and now Haiba is coming as well, and this is great stuff here from Gunrunners. I really like this opening they've done so far.
A Diplomat is in a bit of a problem there because he has a dead gunner now on that 62. That's really not a great thing to happen, but still, that gun is rather brilliant, so I think he can cope with it. Haiba is trying to dig out Enrico on blind shooting, and mouses are, of course, going max speed.
I like this so far from Gunrunners. They've now pushed the middle with the 3 mouses and are probably going to go for an A-line cross at the same time. Now Haiba, he tried to come and kill Enrico, but he won't be able to. He gets focused by the mouses. He still didn't kill Enrico. He goes down. Actually, I really like this from Gunrunners. I'm kind of surprised they didn't push across the A-line though, as well as getting focused down in his mouse. Nexus now clipping. Diplomat takes even more damage. Will probably the first mouse to go down here, but does it really matter? So much HP lost for Kazna Crew already, and now they are going to group up with all their tanks and try and focus out this middle group from Kazna Crew.
They were actually not pushing there because most of the Kazna was waiting for that, and they were positioned to shoot those butt shots. So that's the reason why they didn't do it. And decision to push here was brilliant, but actually look at this Vale, that FV heavy is not really a damage tankers, not the best ones.
Yeah, Will goes down here. Unshi's taking a lot of damage in his bad shot as well. He goes down towards Nexus. Actually gets caught out a little bit there, but these mouses are still alive. Let's see if they can do anything now. Vetso is the next target, but Storm now taking damage from the side as well. It's Stefan and Diplomat who are now trying to get into the game as well. Piotr takes Amorak damage there. He has to repair that. There comes the second bad shot here. 2 more shots available. Vetso's getting clipped now. He will go down towards the one shot. No, Nexus comes to shield, so still Vetso surviving on 755. And Gunrunners, they seem to be running out of steam a little bit.
Let's face it, the real game here is how to kill each other's clippers first. Mobile tanks. If mouses stay alive there, they're just going to be outplayed by any of the fast tanks because they cannot really see them, they cannot really chase them, and they will be bound to try to cap. So if Ondrax and Martan die, that's pretty much it for Gunrunners, no matter how low an HP Kazna runs.
Indeed, but Kazna Crew still having 5 tanks alive at this point. Stefan picks up Storm. Now Dani here dropping low as well. Martin will now kill Stefan, but still there's so many tanks left from Kazna Crew, and Nexus is still pretty healthy in that one. Now Vala goes down towards Martin as well, and he's on high HP. If Dani can do something here, land 1 or 2 more shots possibly, but Diplomat in that T62A will make sure that that TVP gets locked down. Now Dani, can he do 1 more shot here? No! Nexus picks him up, and now it's Martin locked down in the middle road against 3 tanks from Kazna Crew.
Well, Nexus says no, Vetso miraculously survived there. I mean, brawling with mouse doesn't pay off. And surprisingly, honestly, TVP is the last man surviving. I would say he would be one of the first tanks to die, actually.
I am not sure that this middle play was the correct one. After all, from Gunrunners, I think they should have rushed the north and killed those 2 mediums.
I think Kazna was waiting with all the snipe guns, and those mediums
No, they were all
probably
shooting
die.
at the mouses.
Yeah,
all
they
of
were
them.
because there was nothing else spotted, but FE heavies are fast aimers. If they're spotted to push, they would die. Question is, did Kazna have a spotter? But we will never know because Gunrunners brought this decision, and the result is visual.
Indeed, now they're pushing in to kill Martin here in that TVP. And yeah, on reload, can't do much. Nice try here from Gunrunners, but it will be Kazna Crew putting themselves on match point here. I really did like that opening there from GRS. Did a lot of damage, and Mojo, they wouldn't have spotted them at all crossing A-line. And you know why? Because there was that RU proxying. They couldn't
Yes,
peek.
he was proxying and they had to run away.
Yeah.
Haiba failed to kill him.
And
Probably-
Haiba went down.
Probably.
So they push across A line, kill those two guys, 3-cap. Mouses survive for a long time.
Probably that would be a win bet for them, but they didn't bring it, unfortunately for them. And this is a tactics who didn't see it before that was used on Championships Rumble and Tornado Energy against Navi.
Yeah, perhaps if Unji doesn't die there towards Nexus, he tried to be a little bit too eager in this fight, I guess. He tried to come in, but then Nexus was like, no, it's not happening. He went down, and then second batch shot came in on Drax. But if Unji is alive, then I feel like that fight could have gone either way, really.
I was really actually surprised how well Kazna managed to even melt those mouses on the way there. I mean, they really picked up a lot of damage, and it was mainly done one by one, not like all spread around.
A good game there from Nexus, and a lot of Kazna players here with a lot of damage. Obviously, Mouses with that HP. It is very, you know, if you win, you do a lot of damage.
Pretty much there. Now, I mean, Dani finally had a good game there, and Martin in that TVP, obviously, since they were the last guys surviving. Vale was, I think, the guy that took the most damage in the start, if I remember well, from those FE heavies.
He was.
So doing that much after being on so low HP,
Unji.
more or less like deja vu after that 1-1-3 play on Himmelsdorf.
Unji there in that Bacha. We talked about it
Yeah,
a little bit. If
that's quite
he-
an underplay. Same
Yeah.
as Haiba, honestly.
I mean, if he, you know, if he takes a wider approach, goes more towards that Huldan area in the back, then he has a much bigger chance to actually do something.
Yes, but that always goes in domain of shoulda, woulda, coulda, and it didn't happen this time. Kazna is on match point, and they are defending on. Attacking on Ruinberg.
Attacking on Ruinberg. Well, and this can still, I mean, most likely will be 4-2, unless GRS makes some major mistakes on Ruinberg defense, which is, you know, not the hardest in the game.
No, we know that Kazna is patient enough to do rotations, so they can do it. It's the question just of the tactics they will actually pick to do on a start now. We will see how will gun runners fare. The decision they brought on Himmelsdorf was brilliant, and after Daki pointed out some stuff here, obviously on Ruinberg not so much. So there is potential for this team, but it's still there are those slight things that don't make them tick yet.
Hey, but
well
this
yet.
tactic, the opening was really good, so...
It was a good
And
hand.
Stefan there getting a tiny bit greedy for that kill. I mean, if he doesn't
But-
miss the shot, he kills him, but he still takes damage in return.
Still, but Stefan knew that kill was very important.
Yes.
Honestly, if he connected that, that would be GG already.
Yeah, this is the point here. I mean, Unji there, you can see him swing out and getting clipped there by Nexus.
It was a really strange play, honestly. Why did he play like that?
And Nexus,
I would expect him to come straight over the mouses or much wider.
yeah, Nexus played that very well there. And I mean, but if Unji just goes in zero line, he pretty much shuts down that game either way as well.
Yes. But a lot of mistakes in this game costed them, and let's see the lineups for the next one.
Yeah, indeed. Let's take a look at the lineups for our possibly last round here. The Gunrunners.
You're gonna not throw 3 mouses to us, we're gonna throw 3 mouses to you.
Hey, they know our tactic. They're using our tactic. We wanted to do this.
So, but Kazna here has a Grille instead of TVP, and they don't use the light tank, they use 2 tier 9 Bacha, so this looks like more progressive approach, I would say. I think Grilla will cover the middle probably
Well,
in the
Mojo,
start.
you could kind of say that when you play with 3 mouses, you kind of have to progress slowly. Don't you think so?
I think the Bachats can't be used same as that light tank in the start, so they have to play different. That's what I
Perhaps.
meant.
Well, they'll still be progressing slowly. At one point, one way or another, some part will be progressing slowly. So let's jump into the possibly last round here between Gunrunners and Kazna Crew. So Kazna Crew close it out. Or can Gunrunners at least make it 4-2? We'll have to find out here, as we can see. Only 2 mouses going middle for Kazna.
Well, we've seen something like that also played, if you remember, a couple of times. And I mean, that championship rumble was pretty much a giveaway. That was the last meta used, and probably a lot of teams will rely on it at the moment.
Line shots coming out here from Piotr and Diplomat not connecting onto anything. Ondrex and Rico covering the north. Ondrex has to be careful because if they have a Diodor in their team, you know, he'll go down quickly.
So those 2 mouses and Nexus aiming after them there. I mean, the last mouse can be used literally to make a block on a cap, and one of the tier 9 Bachats can just cap behind it pretty safely.
Perhaps that will be the plan here, but look how far Diplomat and Piotr have gone unspotted so far.
Must be the camo.
You think so?
Yeah, this black and white, man. It bounces off the rays, special coloring.
We'll have to see. Now, what is the next move going to be here for Kazna Crew?
Why do we see Gunrunners camo here? But never mind. Kazna here, when they get spotted and attract attention, then they're gonna start to push on the other side. Haiba is also on the other cap, we can see him. So he's gonna trigger a cap there, leave a space open for one of the tier 9s. They're gonna press. Grille is aiming after the mouses, so no one can actually come and try to shoot them point blank. But Enrico is taking so much damage there, and the entire focus from Kazna is there on the houses above the cap.
Ondrax got spotted in his Batshot, takes 1033 damage there. Oh, just about to get save, and now the mouse is here from Kazna. They're in the center field, they're kind of safe, and Gunrunners is taking a lot of damage here, already dropping to 10k, and there comes the hit squad from Kazna Crew. 3 Batshats gonna go for that A-line crossing. Ondrax and Enrico, I think it is, are in trouble. There's Stefan and Vetso. Vetso only about halfway through his reload. Stefan gets instantly tracked. He's gonna be turning around. He takes a lot of damage from that crossing. He gets tracked again. He will be going down here, Stefan, but in return, Unji is taking a lot of damage as well. He drops down towards the one shot. One more shot on Stefan. Doesn't seem like they will find it. And still, Kazna Crew are starting to drop HP here, but still in the lead.
Kazna was winning the trade, honestly, with those mouses even before this push, and now this will be a disaster for Gunrunners. They didn't even manage to finish off Stefan, who is having another horrible game there, and Dead Driver, but he limped away, and he will cap together with Haiba. Now, what happens here? I mean, Dani cannot even decap. This is just a disaster. This is a game match and point.
Yeah, probably it is, Mojo. Dani there also kind of in no man's land, and still 7 tanks alive here for Kazna Crew, and still these mouses are still alive just in the middle of everything. Diplomat finally had enough of Dani shooting him in the side, turns his turret, takes him down. He goes down towards the one shot as well, and a little bit of the story of the game here. One shots all around for Kazna Crew. Well, 3 of them at this point, 4 if you count in Vetso, and Gunrunners can't do much. It's now double cap pressure coming out from Kazna Crew. 22 seconds, 3 times left standing. They have nothing left.
Man, you know something is bad when baits are still alive. And both mouses here that are a pure bait are still alive. Also Haiba on the cap. This is just a mop-up operation. Gunrunners gave everything they had, but it just wasn't enough.
No, indeed, and there seemed to be a little bit of a flaw in the tactic from Gunrunners as Kazna Crew take full advantage. And we'll be closing out this game 5-1. Congratulations, first victory of the season, first victory in the league as well. Those 3 points, well deserved.
Well deserved, important points, because we've been talking before the season started. So we have the old culprits in the league, but we have newcomers like Kazna, like Gunrunners and Esuba. They are the guys who can actually steal away some points from the critical game in upper tiers. And Kazna secured first 3 points in a stage when they're usually losing the games.
A little bit of a weird tactic there from GRS against those mouses. Very reminiscent of, I think, even how Navi tried to defend against Tornado Energy.
And it was a fail, man.
It completely didn't work out whatsoever. Or was it against Tornado Energy? It might have been against somebody else.
It was. No, it was. They lost the spotter immediately. It was clipped by TVP.
No, I was talking about something else where 2 mouses went middle as well. And the guy on A7 pretty much got focused down, which is the same thing what happened here. Enrico just, you know, all of a sudden there's 2 mouses which shoot him from 2 angles. I mean,
they completely were ignorant of that possibility, lost a lot of HP. Kazna focused everything correct, while, I don't know, GRS just played passive. Completely passive, just waiting for some shots, not doing any flank maneuvers, nothing. No one went in the face of those mouses, trying to like take them away before they can do something significant.
You can see here Will leading the charts for Gunrunners, but then it's a lot of Kazna Crew there on that first page.
Yeah, Will played FE Heavy, that's a brilliant sniper tank as we saw.
And Kazna had a lot of HP.
Yes, a lot to shoot at. And he was also a last survivor, I think, from them, but simply that's not enough. And look at this, Ondrax in that Batcha, they're supposed to do some rotations. 0-0-0. Not even a fire. Not even a fire shot.
Yeah, not that great whatsoever there, and well,
we are not going to see mines, that's for sure.
No, not indeed, unless they're willing to play it for free, you know. But Mondra, what does GRS take away from this?
Well, I mean, they are following meta. We can see that. But they are lacking experience, obviously. Decision making needs to be faster. Now, on Himmelsdorf, they made the right decision. It took them a while, but they did. But on the last couple of games, we could see some slightly worse rotations. And in this game, we could actually see they had no clue what to do. So back to the drawing table, a bit of thinking, and they might do better in the next game. We've seen plenty teams that had a good potential that didn't start very well in the last season, but they ended up much better toward the end. So I'm hoping they will be one of those.
Perhaps. Perhaps. Maybe it's going to be Isuba.
Maybe it's going to be Isuba, but by old matches watching, Gunrunners were always better than Isuba.
Mojo, the post-match starts here. Nexus and then Unji. Nexus having a great game, but so was Unji, and Unji even did 0 damage in one of those.
So did Nexus almost, I think. He
Yeah.
had a couple of really horrible games also. So a mishmash there of damage. Vetso coming high also. And Dani, we saw that he had a couple of really horrible games, and he's also here in the top. So those couple of games that they had, let's call them a monster games, helped. Unusual for Kasna Stefan on the second page.
Yeah, indeed, but do remember there's no Durs here, only 7
There's
players.
no Durs here. Vale is on the second page, but he didn't play all the games, and he had that one monster game that's like
4.4.
4.4k damage. That's pretty much more than a half of what he did.
Val padding the stats. Well, I mean, all in
He
all,
did also in another game 3 point something, so that's about it.
yeah, it's probably those 2 rounds together, to be honest.
Pretty much.
Well, Kazakh is going to be happy with those first 3 points, you know?
It's a good opening for season for them, for sure. Victorious and in really good way. It looked good.
And it seemed like they were testing a little bit of the new guys, perhaps, putting them in here and there. Piotr played a lot, I think, if not
I think
everything.
Piotr played most, actually.
Yeah, and then Vala played a little bit.
And
interchanged
I
with
saw Durs in
Durs.
2 games.
Yeah, didn't see Uzna much. Like 1 game, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of rotations for Kazna, but at least they will have a lot of active players, I guess.
Yeah, indeed, Mojo, and that's the first match done. When we get back, we will continue the action with Utopia taking on Swift. But before that, we're going to have to take a little bit of a break. So when we get back, Utopia versus Swift, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That's our first match done, Mojo. Now moving into our second one here. Swift versus Utopia.
Swift versus Utopia, that's gonna be quite a match. I mean, we have Utopia, one of the finalists for the season finals in Europe. They were second all around the last season with 36 points. First were Ding with 52, so there is quite a difference there. But they lost in the first round there.
Yeah.
And they lost to Kazan, as far as I remember.
Yep.
So when they faced Ding during the season, they won the first match easily 5-0. Swift didn't have a really great impact in that part, but in the second part, Swift was on a roll. They won 7 matches in a row, and they won a Utopian tiebreaker match after Utopia had a 4-1 lead.
Well, Mojo, let's take a look at our first team sheet here because there are plenty of changes to be talked about in this lineup of Utopia. Guide us through them, Mojo.
Well, there is here also one huge name missing, and it's the Daki's boy Milos missing. He went away to Oops. So one less player, a key player less for Utopia, but there is 4 big new names here. Even 5, I would say. Let's start from top. Colesoid coming there. He came and joined them from Tornado Rocks. And before he played in V-Plane, SE6, Santa Claus 6, as far as I remember, and so on. Rulzik coming from Impact Gaming, also from CS server. He was in Ding on Europe before.
Ding, indeed.
Then we have FC Dynamo, who played on Russian server on Arcade, but here he played on Tornado Rocks and I think GGVP
Team
and so on.
Supreme,
Yeah.
GGVP.
So such. Then we have Mrakar, who joined them from Ding.
Ding.
So they pretty much swapped Milos for Mrakar. We will see who has a benefit there.
We'll have to see about that one, Mojo. But
Yes.
just like with the previous teams, we had the chance to talk to Marakar, not from Ding, but from Utopia this time. So let's hear what he had to say about his new team. So Marakar, welcome back to the Wargaming.net League. You're not with Ding this season, but you're with the Utopia. Explain us, what happened?
Hard to say. Guys from Ding decided that they can improve their roster and they decided to take a new player, Ilian from Kazna, and I had to leave the team. The guys from Utopia immediately called me and I was doing the tests and decided that I will accept their invite.
Now, how do you feel playing with Utopia so far? Do you think things are working out for you and the team?
I mean, for me, it's definitely a bit harder because in Ding, like, I was basically playing like a bot, like Konitz says all the stuff you need to do and you just do them. Here, like, you need to add something to the tactics themselves and to add something to the team. And the team it's going better than I expected, but we will see during the season. There was a lot of changes, so I don't know.
Talking about those changes, Marakar, like you said, Utopia has added a few players, lost some as well. Can you talk us through who they've added?
Yeah, we added 3 players, 3 Russian players, Rulezik, FC Dynamo and Kolesoid. They were playing on Russian servers last season and I think they will help improve this team.
You know Rulezik already from before, don't you?
Yes, he played with me in Ding and he also had to leave the team, so I'm very glad we are reunited again.
Reunited again. Now, Marakar, obviously this season, multiple round robins here. How do you feel this is going to affect Utopia as a team, and do you think this is now a stronger league than before?
Yeah, it's definitely the stronger league. There is less teams, so like all teams added some new players. Also, there was a lot of new Russian players coming into the league this season, and it's very hard to predict who will be better, who will improve, and who will be at the bottom of the league.
Now, Marakar, before I let you go, I want to ask you this in the beginning of the season so I can quote you on it in the end when you're completely wrong. Who do you think is going to be top 3? Who is your top 3 to look at for this season?
I think the top 1 will still be Ding, but next 2 places that will be hard to predict. I hope Utopia and second one, I don't know, it will be between Utopia, Kazna, Oops, Gohard and Swift. Like, I think the only newcomers will struggle, Gunrunners and the Suba. Rest of the league is like pretty equal.
All right, Marakar, thank you so much and best of luck this season.
Thank you. See ya.
Feels just weird, you know, Marakar not a thing, now in Utopia still doing the interviews, like...
Well, he's an interview boy, I guess. And
That's why
Utopia,
they took him. They needed somebody dedicated to do this.
formerly a pure Polish team, not so pure anymore, man.
Could say more than 50% is still, so, you know.
Devil's Alliance with the Russian part.
Yeah. Perhaps indeed, Mojo, but now their opponent in this one, it is going to be Swift. We saw them last season get pretty good towards the end. Maybe they'll start this season better.
And they ended up 5th in the online stage. In playoffs, they lost again to Kazna, I think. Same as Utopia, so they share same memory there.
They have a
although
bond.
that was a 7-3. And they have pretty much, I think, 2 new players here.
Talking about those new players though, Mojo, let's take a look at the team's sheet of Swift so we can talk about those as well. You can see
Very slim.
kind of limited lineup, 7
Very
players.
slim lineup, 7 players only, so no replacements available. We all know Crespis, Mikhailov, Skylex, Atmospheric, and Freekill. They were here last season. But Dreamlike and Wolf are completely new. And I saw Wolf's picture. He actually has some Wolf feature, man.
Huh?
Like his face, man, is a bit like, I don't know, pointy ears and wolfish kind of. Check it out later.
Let's hope he's not offended now.
Oh, why would he?
You never know, Mojo. You never know. Now, I think this is going to be a close match. I mean, this is a rebranded Utopia, completely as a whole, completely different versus a Swift that was okay last season, but not able to challenge Utopia.
Well, they changed several players, so we will see.
No more road, man.
No more road interviews.
No more road suicides, tirades.
Also that. So we will see how will Swift fare. In the start of the season, last season they played horrible, more or less. But toward the end they caught up and they beat pretty much everyone who they lost to in the first part except Ding. So that was a great comeback for them, but it was simply not enough in playoffs where Kazna actually started to play finally and beat them 7-3.
Indeed, and I don't know, man, just scoreline between these two?
I would still give it a bit to Utopia, but a close match, 5-3, maybe even a tiebreaker.
5-3. Tiebreaker for Swift. Would it surprise us? Swift coming into the season, possibly going for another tiebreaker. We'll have to find out. But before that, Mojo, let's take a look at the maps that we're going to be playing on today. First up, it is going to be Steps.
Steps, we're gonna see, did anything change here now? I mean, I really don't expect Kranwagen to be used here. I mean, it's really great cooldown tank, but if anyone has an RT, that tank is like a dead beat and it's too slow.
Maybe 1-1-1-3, one Kranwagen, you know, if
you hide it in defense really well.
Like, you know where the 1-1-3 plays behind the... it can play behind the rail, but it can also play behind that little bit of a hill there. Just next to the rail. And it can do 4 shots before you get close.
Yes, but it's huge risk if someone has an RT.
Yeah, of course.
He's an RT bait.
But it can work if you play against a team like Ding, where you know they're most likely not going to be playing with an RT.
Yeah, that could play then. After that, Prokhorovka. I don't know. Of all the maps, I can say I don't like the Prokhorovka most.
Swedish 3D incoming there.
You think someone use it?
Yeah,
8 or
of
10?
course. You can bring 2 tier 9s even, but let's take a look at the lineups first for our first map here on Steps. You could bring 2 tier 9s even, but probably a tier 10 one. Maybe a tier 9, maybe a tier 10. Kranwagen, 2 of them, and an RD.
Wow. So we have in defense a Kranwagen and Grille even. Object 416 that's used for spotting. That means that will be far away shooting Kranwagen. And Utopia in offense has Kranwagen and tier 8 RT and object 430. 430 after the buff is rather really great vehicle with good bouncing armor. Even
buff?
the gun is not that horrible as it used to be.
I don't even remember. What did they buff about the 430 again?
Armor, man. Armor mainly and
that
a bit about
the fact that
dispersion.
the gun is terrible.
It's much better than it was.
Perhaps, Mojo. Let's find out how it will do as we move into our matchup here. Swift versus Utopia on Steps.
Steps, the most open map in the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually begins the attack from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light vehicles with a good camouflage rating, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
Utopia versus Swift. Here we go. Swift on the defense, Utopia on the attack. And already you can see Mojo 1-2 line coming out here from Utopia.
Utopia playing aggressive, but when you play with RT, you want it, and you will certainly want to cut off Kranwagen to play from distance so you can chip it away slowly with that RT.
Boosting Grilla.
Yeah, we've seen that done.
Blind shot from RT, not connecting. So Swift here dodging the blind shot from the artillery by perhaps waiting a few seconds. The 3 did get knocked over, so Utopia kind of has an idea.
Yes, if they were still watching, they have an idea what's going on there, and they know someone is boosted, but honestly, that's the only position where you can use Grilla. But free kill already picked up a shot.
Indeed, free kill already picked up a shot, but look at this, 416. He's now going to be peeking just over and activating his binos. So interesting spotting there coming out.
If you're wondering why is he spotting with his booty, well, he only needs his turret to be up there. He doesn't really need to shoot anyone.
He doesn't need anything more than his observation device.
Exactly, and he just needs that, and he needs to be able to run away, because if he's turned frontal, he's just going to die.
Yeah, indeed, and as long as his observation device is above it, he will be fine. And now Utopia always has the potential to do the 4-man boost that we saw Ding do at the season finals.
And Muka is positioned here, very bouncy position with his object 430. Bihu sniping from a top there. That's all really standard openings. Now let's see what is new about their lineup. So we have Muka, Shuku, that's all culprits, and Bihu, and Papa Pavian on Arti. So 4 guys from the old lineup, and all 3 guys from the Russia, Rulzik, Dynamo, and Kolesoid are playing. So the guys that we don't have, they're pretty much Stepanek and Mrakar.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about last season.
Yeah, Stepanek and Mrakar are not here. Of the new guys. Well, on Sweet behalf, it's no big guessing who's playing. Everyone must play.
Let's see here if Papa Pavin could possibly connect a shot onto the Wolf. Kind of missing his aiming circle.
Yeah, we don't see the reticle, unfortunately.
Where is it? He's mixed off a shot. And he connects. Not bad there. Nice.
Almost 500.
491 hits. And Skylex there getting spotted just as Muka fired. He's going to not be too happy about that one.
This is a nice first person view. And we can see exactly how Muka is positioned and what is his aim. As I said, this gun is a bit buffed now and armor a lot by 430, so this actually makes a really playable tank. I guess the gun cannot really be good enough as like a 62A or 140, or it would be pretty much too OP.
See here Mikhailov just staring down that position, trying to find an angle onto Relezic, but there is none to be found. And slowly but surely, Utopia have bullied Swift out of the vicinity and might perhaps be lining up to go and cap.
Well, they know there is no immediate spotter now.
Now Bihu got spotted. That is the Wolf free kill there in that 416 with binos.
So they need to fan him out. That's the issue. Now they know that Grilla is somewhere up. So if they send someone to A5, let's say there, he will be wide open for those Grilla shots, and that will be a problem. Rulzik picked up quite some damage.
Hey, Relezic there probably got
I think
a
he
shot
got
from
shot
the
by Grilla.
Grilla must have hit him. That is 870, so a high roll, but just about. Yeah, 870 roll from the Grilla.
It's more
very
than
possible.
possible.
Yeah.
Free kill on the other hand, he is chased away from his position now. Him being on low HP doesn't really matter because he cannot return to that capping position anymore, and he will go on some sniping spot from now onwards. But this is what Utopia wanted. They sacrificed some HP and now they can pressure Swift with capping.
Rulezik still in that position over there. Now Free Kill is moving back and maybe he'll try to sneak back into those bushes. Rulezik has to be careful because Mikhailov obviously shooting down onto that turret will give him a greater angle. And Rulezik takes an cheese shot there even from Mikhailov as Atmospheric trying to clip him from the side. Rulezik goes down towards the one shot. One more as Biku picks up Free Kill. Atmospheric needs to make sure he doesn't overextend here, which he is doing right now. He takes a lot of damage, takes even more. Goes down towards the one shot himself, overextending there to try and pick up the kill onto Rulezik.
It was really not worth it because he didn't manage to finish off Rulezik, and this is one of those moments in a game when you are staying for one shot more, just one shot more to finish him off, and then you pretty much lose everything you have. So this was rather a horrible trade for Swift, and Swift will soon actually have to muster up forces. Unless they hit some random shot here on Colesoid, they'll have to go and brawl.
Yeah, indeed, and Skylex and Crespix are now relocating towards that northern part of the map. Muka is actually going to push over into that A6 position. He has to be careful because of that gorilla that we talked about. Still 37 seconds here before the base is captured. Mikhailov actually gets spotted, is taking damage now. He needs to go safe and in that gorilla. Look at the damage he's received. Now Muka is getting pushed in the meantime on the side there by that bad shot from Skylex. Muka's taking a lot of damage in return, but still 22 seconds. They need to reset the base, and this is working into Utopia's favor as Rulezik removes Skylex from the map. Colosoid in return, though, takes a big amount of damage himself, and this game is not just over yet.
It's not just over yet, and the HP is pretty much equal, but the HP is led by Crespix and Dreamlike on those Bachat and TVP, so there are rotations possible, but Mikhailov is on one shot and that gorilla up. Scratch that, he's dead.
Which gorilla are you talking about as he goes down? Still 4 tanks left standing here for Swift. They have the HP advantage, but they do not have the gun in the game. A lot of Utopia tanks here on low HP. Rulezik, Shuku, Colosoid, all one-shots, but they can't seem to find them. As I say that though, the Wolf picks up Colosoid, and now Crespix here trying to play against Muka. Takes a big shot from Artie. 1.2 from Papa Pavian from the back lines, and we saw him play Artie before, and well, are we surprised?
Papa Pavian, that sick boy in Arti, this might be a game changer because Utopia was pretty much struggling. But now they have some advantage, something to work with. Shuku is on really low HP and he's running away from the tanks from Swift that are trying to catch him from the bottom side.
Running away as he gets catched by Atmospheric.
He was pedaling full speed, man.
Yeah, indeed. And now the Wolf taking an Artie shot as well. That's already 2.5k damage even at this point for Papa Pavian. Now the cap is the biggest thing here. 49 seconds and time is starting to be not that in favor of Utopia anymore. 2 minutes 25 seconds. Rulezik pushing forwards. Dynamo will be joining Bihu on the cap, but Dreamlike, he will be coming close. 16 seconds, he will be the one to have to make the play. Crespix is waiting for that spot. 12 seconds now, there needs to be a spot at this moment in time. Dreamlike is about 3-4 seconds away, so Crespix will maybe have 1 or 2 shots. Dreamlike is going to have to be the one as Crespix pushed over. Muka picks them up. 2 seconds left, 1 second like that. There is the reset finally, but in return, Dreamlike will be taking a bunch of damage here. He goes down towards the one shot, and it should be Utopia that can close out this game as Rulezik kills the Wolf. It's just Atmospheric.
This is SGG as it gets. You can see how smart actually Utopia displays their tanks here. They left full HP Bachats on the cap because they knew the push will come from there, while the lower HP tanks went on and they kept the ridges away so no one from Swift can actually peek and decap from there. And it worked perfectly because as soon as the first guy came here, you could see how he disappeared.
Yeah, indeed, and Papa Pavian makes off a blind shot, does not connect that. Atmospheric versus Muka. Muka wins it. Utopia picking up their first round of Season 2.
And importantly, it looked good. It looked well planned, it looked well executed, it looked like they had Swift one step ahead all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, it could have been different there towards the end as Papa Pavian hit that shot onto
But Papa Pavian delivers, man.
I think he might even be top damage.
Well, we'll see about that, but yes, he will be in the top 100% because we saw 3 shots direct that he connected,
we
especially
saw him
that one on TVP.
2k damage on screen, and if you only connect
no, we saw like 2.5. 2 500 shots and 1.5, something like that.
No, he only hit Crespix for 1.1.
Really?
Yeah, 1,192.
Then it's like 2k we saw, but we will see. Maybe he connected something that we didn't.
Yeah, that's exactly, like we saw him do this amount of damage on screen, 1 or 2 shots off screen. Yeah, and Mikhailov there, I think he just got about D-spotted when Muka hit him as well. That was a little bit unfortunate there. If that Gorilla survives, that is a completely different dynamic.
Yes, they would not be able to approach the ridge. They would not be able to press them. They would have to take care of their cap completely different. They would not be able to keep all those heavy HP backshots there in the back. And the game would really easily Swift in Swift's favor. But that's all, again, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Didn't
that
happen.
would swiftly have turned into Swift's favor.
I said that?
No, I just said that.
Wow.
But let's take a look at the stats here. Papapavian indeed top damage dealer, but 3 more Utopia players coming in after him. Biku, Relizic, and Muka, both doing more than 2k damage. Fairly a decent performance by them.
Oh, rather really well. And important to see here, for me at least, is that 3 old players of Utopia are there in the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, 2. 2 in the top 3.
Papapavian, Bihu, and Muka.
Okay, but it's top 4, Bojo. With top, you mean like top 3. It's the devil lays in the details.
Oh, man. When it suits you, it does.
Yeah, it does, but free kill there, 0 damage, not a surprise. But
No,
Colisoid
he
and
was a free
Shuku-
kill.
Wow, Colisoid and Shuku, they're both only getting 1 shot off in their bad shots.
That's quite low compared to the shots they fired, but there was a lot of misses, I guess, and they tried to do some blind shooting there. But indeed, I would expect a bit more for them.
Yeah, I expect a little bit more from Skylex and Crestpix as well, especially because they are in my
I think I
fantasy
have
team.
Skylex.
Yeah.
Must drop, man.
Write him some encouraging words, Mojo.
I will.
Davai.
Skylex. Давай. No.
Well, not to I like how you went like, I don't think we're going to be seeing any Kranwagens here. 2 Kranwagens.
That was a great guess by me, obviously. But at least I picked up one thing right. If you pick up a crane wagon, there is a high chance RT will just wreck you.
Yeah, look, Mikhailov just about gets D-spotted there as Muka shoots him in the back.
This is a moment where I said when they kept their high HP budgets so they can deal with anyone doing a decap on them, because cap always is just a pressure tool, and if it ends, it's fine, but more you are just trying to lure defender away so you can just shoot him while they're like approaching desperately and they're easy targets.
Yeah, indeed.
So Utopia's plan worked as intended.
Now we'll have to see if Swift's plan can work as intended as well on the attack. And let's take a look at the lineups actually for the second round here already on steps. And Swift again with that 4-1-6, and Utopia bring in the Kranwagen as well, Mojo. And I think they're going to do that. No, actually no, because they have a Leopard 1 for the climb.
STB on Swift side in attack. I don't know, I really don't like that tank, honestly.
I hate the gun on it.
Yeah, it's not really accurate, and armor is treacherous. It can get penned on turret easily.
It says it has armor until you play it, and then you get penned on the turret on every second shot, and you're like,
Pretty much.
it doesn't have any.
And Utopia, they're playing with Leopard in defense and Ru. Okay.
Climb, I guess, with the Leopard?
Yeah, and they have. What will they deal with Kranwagen with Swift?
4-1-6 shooting itchy.
It's gonna be a lot of HE, man.
Man, they watched Knackerbrot last season, okay?
Okay, but that was track shots, not turret shots.
Well, Mocho, let's find out as we move into the second round here between Swift and Utopia. Swift on the attack, Utopia on the defense, and I don't know, Mojo, Batshot HE clips?
We see a new name here for Utopia playing. Brakar is in the game now.
Marakar on the 1-1-3, his trusted 1-1-3. He's
He
played a
replaced
lot of
Shuku.
that.
And Shuku did really bad in the last game.
And indeed, and Colisoid, Batshot spotting over there. Papapavian doing the climb here in the RU. What is the use of the Leopard in this strat? Or the Leopard?
If you remember, we actually saw people doing the double climb sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, Papapavian made it up at least. Now this Leopard in the position of FC Dynamo could be...
It's actually a really nice climb by Papapavian. It's crucial that he didn't flunk it up. So we will see a huge brawl here, but Utopia will at least have Papapavian who will be able to spam them from distance all the time. Though he's spotted now.
Indeed, Papapavian getting spotted, so a little bit of information gained here for Swift. Crespik still needs to make his way out. He will be fine as well. Skylex, the only one so far to receive any damage. And now Swift is rotating as they should.
And they're taking over the ridges, so they can stretch the line of Utopia and maybe take some pot shots at them. But the thing is, Utopia has that Kranwagen. If it's positioned well and they protect its flanks, it can be a really big pain to Swift.
Yeah, indeed. And Muka there could play very easily against the Wolf because -12. Oh, he actually hits the shot onto Muka, probably peeking out too far.
Yes, as we said, like the weak spots are obviously the side shots on Kranwagen. If he peeks out too much, where his teammates cannot really help him out, and he's not in that great cooldown anymore, that's about it. Now Wolf here, he's just, you know, baiting.
Well, this is a pretty strong I7 position, though, to be used. And if they can get free kill onto that #1 base, they have a really nice crossfire right now. And this could be actually really good for Swift, as Crespix does take a shot there. But, you know, those beginning shots, those beginning trades, not that bad.
Well, free kill is, obviously, we can see it on minimap, clearly, advancing toward the 1 cap. When he triggers it, we will see the real play, because Utopia will be forced to fight. There can be some Papa Pavian blind shots, but that's kind of in a gamble part, and I'm not certain it can really work out.
No, indeed, it could be pretty hard free kill. Still, this is taking a lot of time, though, for Swift before they are getting into position here. And it all depends on Utopia not realizing what's going on.
Free kill is still checking out. Is there anyone residual spotters? Did Utopia return someone? Because they really don't want to lose him for nothing at the moment while he's entering the cap. And Swift, we've seen them do this many times before. They slowly close the grip. Slowly is the keyword here, but methodically. Well, this is how we came to all those draws before.
Well, there's no draws. You mean tiebreakers?
Tiebreakers.
You know, Mojo, you know what you say, the devil lies in the details. I'm going to keep saying it every single time now because you said it.
Well, Utopia last time they met was leading 4-1, but that was really not enough because Swift made a return and brought all points for them 5-4. But free kill should really trigger the cap shortly, and we will see some action then.
Yeah, indeed, the Wolf taking a shot there, probably from Papa Powden at RU251. Muka here can't do much as he needs to expose too much in the Kranwagen to do anything. If you're wondering why
Crespix
Muka...
is in a problem here.
Yeah, Crespix is indeed in trouble there. Finally, Utopia making a move, but so is Swift, and Ulisic taking a lot of damage on that crossing here. Crespix might be able to 1v1 him still at this point, as he's on 409 HP, Crespix on 583 in return, and the cap is still on. 2 tanks in here, 46 seconds, and this is a good stuff here from Swift. I mean, Crespix goes down, yes, but they are going to try and prevent anybody from coming back, as Atmospheric and Skylex will be trying to intercept Muka, and now Utopia, they're scrambling to get back to the base. They only have 33 seconds left.
It's a double cap going on. Ru is the only guy who can really do something about spotting here, but it does look like Swift already had it under control. If these tanks here, if they manage to reset the cap, Utopia will effectively win the game because Swift is throwing everything they have to stop them. But Papa Pavian, he's on 1 shot. He could be spotting. Yes, he spotted them. They had to run away.
He spotted them indeed and they had to run away. The Wolf now picks up Papa Pavian, but in the meantime, there's 2 tanks there from Swift in trouble. Atmospheric and Skyrex. Skyrex already down. Atmospheric now in the open as well, as the Wolf is getting flanked from behind by Bihu. He will be going down as well, as they lose Atmospheric, they lose Wolf, and they only have 3 tanks left standing. It was an all-in play, and it didn't work out.
It almost paid out, but Utopia is actually reacting really well, man, and on time. If Papa Pavian stayed a couple of seconds more to snipe there on a hill, they would lose. If he lingered 1 more second and didn't try to run away from that trench when they noticed those butt shots, if he took a wrong trajectory, they would lose because there was no one else really ready to spot that. So I would say, actually, Papa Pavian was a crucial player in both of these games. One in RT, one in light tank.
Papa Pavian indeed. Free kill here together with Mikhailov. I mean, they can try and do what they want, but, you know, realistically, unless Utopia takes like 3 ammo racks again, like they did against Ding, it's unlikely.
Oh, that game, man. That game.
You can see Dynamo there tactically blocking Bihu to get maximum damage output. That is like, that's the way I want to see it. Well done there. Dynamo is like, okay, I'll go chase Mikhailov instead. No, Bihu actually Amorex free kill here at this point as well, I think. Not sure about that one. All that matters is he went down 2-0 for Utopia.
Out of a very tense game, it ended up like a landslide. Utopia really decisively won the ending part of the game here, and a really good reaction by them. Completely outplaying Swift by far. They knew that Swift doesn't have that many tanks down. They risked a lot. Ruzik almost died, but even if he did, they would still wipe out and secure the flank effectively. And reactions by Papa Pavian were on point.
Yeah, all that all in play once Papa Pavian drives forward. They got spotted. They were like, Wolf was, no, Afrika was lingering on that cap for a little bit more, trying to be like, maybe I'm not spotted. But then they did get spotted. And Mojo, I think you're going to be happy to see who's number one in stats.
Wow. Wow.
Look at the team low.
I wonder, does his stat go to Ding, man? Stomacher number one, he's 1-1-3. They're followed by Bihu and Dynamo. So again, top three players are coming from Utopia. And
No, one is from Ding.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. A third shadow team here. And the second page, almost exclusively for Swift guys. Papa Pavian last by damage, but by impact on a game, I would say by
Lost
far.
by damage, but first in spotting assistance.
Yes, and that's the most important part in this one.
I know somebody that would agree with you, Mojo. Assistance is always very important.
Yeah, VN8 damage is all the way, right?
Exactly.
But-
Exactly. You finally figured it out.
But this is not about VN8, about winning the gold league. So spotting actually works out.
Maybe. But now 2-0 for Utopia. Good start to their season. Swift, little bit less, but.
Never cancel them.
Swift-
Never
Swift
rule them
is
out.
that kind of team that will come back every single time.
Never rule them out.
2-0, it means nothing.
Until you see that fifth game done, you play. So Swift here in a pretty much dire situation. I think next map will be Prokhorovka.
Yes, you got that correct.
Thank you very much. So the situation there can go either way, same of course as here. But I'm looking forward to see will they use more of the Swedish meta, because I believe most of the teams now are experimenting. This is the first phase of the season, and everyone is trying some new stuff to see will it work out, how will the people react to
Mojo.
it, can they get surprised?
I can already see possible Prokhorovka lineups that our team's possibly going to try. 2 Kranwagens with 2 Emils, for example. Just for hold down, drive to the middle, try and play them there. Maybe 2 Swedish DDs, perhaps. I mean, this entire thing could be.
But there is a big drawback to that, because those tanks can be very slow and they can be shot on their way. So they also need a backup of old school tanks.
Yeah, indeed, Mojo. But let's move on and see exactly what they brought on Prokhorovka and take a look at the tank lineups they have chosen. Any Swedish tanks? Yes, yeah, look, Swedish TD. What did I say?
So Vikings are present even here. Swift in attack using the Kranwagen. When you and me were testing that, if you put that Kranwagen
I totally outplayed you
around,
the
we will switch tanks next time. So if you take a Kranwagen toward that cap above the rail, there is really horrible moments when you try to approach to decap, because even E5 doesn't even see him where to shoot him and he gets shot back.
Well, Mojo, let's see how good the Swedish tanks can do as we move into our second map here, Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
So Swift versus Utopia. 2-0 in favor of Utopia. And Utopia will be bringing that STRV played by Muka and Mojo. Just for the people that are not that familiar with the Swedish lines, more in particular the Swedish TD line, explain the mechanics behind it.
And there is a really big difference in those TDs from any other. You are usually accustomed to just aiming with a tank and shooting. It doesn't work like this. These tanks have like a screen-wide aim if you do it like that. They're really fast, have a bouncy armor, they go fast backwards, but you need to enter the siege mode so you would actually be able to aim well. When you're in siege mode, tank lifts a bit and gets an accurate aim, gun depression and everything, and then it's a beast. It has like 320 alpha, which is not much, but great DPM, it shoots fast. So the tank has pros and cons. I believe the only big weakness of that tank is because if you try to just drive backwards, it's really slow then. And while you're driving, hitting someone is on like a cosmic chance.
Yeah, it's very quickly backwards as it is forwards in both.
But when you're out of the siege mode.
Yeah, only when you're out of siege mode. And it takes like 1.4 seconds, if I'm not wrong, to get out of siege mode, 2 seconds to set up in it. So that's a lot of time, and that's a lot of shots, really.
Yeah, that can be a big problem. So I guess there will be a lot of guesswork by them, because they will have to know when they get spotted and maybe start entering siege mode immediately. Also, the problem is heat ammo for that one, because it gets armor gets overmatched by heat guns with great calibers easily.
Yeah, indeed. But lower caliber pens below 120 can auto-bounce it pretty much. But anything above that 3 caliber rule, Mojo, explain that one as well.
All those APCR shells, guys, with lower calibers, they will just bounce off the armor by new mechanics. But the high ones, they will just overmatch the armor. And here we have a rotation coming in from the Swift. They didn't like what they saw on the other side. Kranwagen, Mrakar chase away, but Atmospheric is handing over, man.
Yeah, Atmospheric already getting down to 180 HP. Mikhailov not faring much better himself as he goes to 221. And the Wolf in the meantime also taking a lot. Papa Pavin does go down in the RU-251, but the damage has been done. You can see Muka here in siege mode trying to drive forwards and probably take down Atmospheric at one point here. But Skylex still in trouble. Dreamlike coming as well.
And you can see how the aim looks here.
Muka picks him up. That was a nice shot there from the STRV. Still in siege mode here. And this is just complete domination from Utopia at this point.
I mean, STRV is actually a project that's based on a real vehicle. Kranwagen was just a concept, and I think there is only 2 chassis that exist without the upper part. But we can see how Swift got outplayed here by far, because they thought most of Utopia is on downside camping. They didn't realize actually Utopia was just playing with them.
Let's see Bihu here just unloading onto the back of Dreamlike, picks him up, didn't even get spotted for that one, as Utopia pretty much have 6 tanks left standing on full HP. Skylex now getting sniped by Muka. That's the power of the Swedish TD. Not gonna miss on that distance. Dynamo picks up the kill, Crest picks free kill, and the Wolf, the last 3 players standing. But yeah, what to say about this one? Complete domination.
I can say Utopia was always good on inventing some campish tactics like on Murovanka and so on. If you remember, they first invented like 69's defense, E5's introduction and so on. So here, playing with Kranwagen and that E5 on a 6th line with everyone else covering the forest, backed up with that STRV. Yeah, this is really solid and strong tactics, man.
Yeah, indeed, and they were very quick to take that 1-2 line. The Wolf now with only 1 shot, he might do it onto Bihu here, but it won't be enough as Bihu picks up the Wolf. Now lining up something as Crespix Colossoid comes in for the ramp, and Utopia in strong fashion make it 3-0 already in close match. Maybe not.
Dude, like merge with the FC Dynamo, Colossoid and Rulzik and Mrakar definitely pays off. This Utopia actually looks at the moment stronger than the one from the previous season, even with Milos.
Perhaps. I'll have to see about that, you know. First match of the season.
Still, man, Swift is a decent opponent, and they should have, at least should have, practiced hard for the start. Yeah. Every point will matter in one moment.
I like Utopia there, though, very quickly realizing what Swift was going for, and then taking the 1-2 line, and then it was pretty much like crossfire from 3 sides.
Decisive moves, fast reactions. I don't know, man. 3-0 might even end up with a landslide here.
Perhaps indeed. And you can see that Rulezik, again, pretty good there from the batch, also the in-game leader, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, doing both at the same time.
So they gave the leadership to the new guy, Rulezik?
Rulezik, yeah, he was leading in Ding before Kuricha joined.
It's going to be interesting because there is a lot of guys there from old Utopia who can do it also. But only 2 guys there from Swift on the first page. Papapavian low in damage here, but it doesn't really matter.
Again, he got assistance damage.
Yeah, he was spotting for them again. Well, pretty fast games here tonight. Maybe even a bit unexpected, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this one would. I know Swift are the kings of comeback and all of that fun stuff, but I kind of expected this more to be like evenly matched up. Right now, it's just blowout pretty much.
This is just a one-handed fight, and Swift is down, and they're not getting up, and no one is calling for those
like
10 seconds countdown.
Utopia's kicking somebody on the ground, like they're not letting them get up. That somebody call a referee or something.
Yeah, maybe they're not playing or something. No, we'll see. Well, now they can defend. I mean, slower pace of the games usually suits Swift better, but this is the final dying moments for them. Yes, it looks like they have HP, but already they are all over the map, spread out, wide open for shots from wherever Utopia wants to shoot from.
Indeed, and after that point, I mean, Swift tried to relocate, but Utopia already took all the map control. I guess this was something Swift really didn't expect whatsoever, because a lot of teams are just, you know, willing to just sit there and wait for you to come in, wait for you to make the move. They just sit in that 1-2 line and they see, okay, you have Swedish TD, he's probably going to be all the way in the corner, so we can rotate around a little bit. But Utopia didn't give it to them. They just they used the relocation power.
Swift was 90% of times always playing on counter rotations and multiple counter rotations going all over the map. But Utopia is simply not giving them any ground on maps. They're just taking everything for themselves. Now let's remember ourselves. Like Utopia in the first matchup in the last season against Swift also won 5-0, and this really looks like it. It looks really close like it. But then again, Swift came back after. So we will see what kind of Swift will we see during the season, and this match is far from over, of course.
This match obviously is far from over, but for now, let's take a look at the lineups for the next round here already on Prokhorovka. And again, a double Grillic, Kranwagen, Lorraine. Those are some... I mean, I really like these new lineups with the Kranwagen in there. I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't think Vetso is right, like about that standard stuff. Maybe this will become standard, I don't know, but for me this is at the moment pretty fun to watch and imaginative. I'm really enjoying it.
I still want to see like double Emil and 2 Kranwagens and
I
3 STRVs.
I totally think they would get so butchered, man.
Dude, I could actually see something work with like a tier 9 Batshot and Emil 2, double Kranwagen, and triple STRV. You put one on A6, you put like one in the middle, Batshot in 1-2 line spawning. What do you do?
And then you wake up and you realize that doesn't work.
Maybe. You never know until you try much. Or nobody thought you could put a 1390 in a box of Japanese heavy tanks as well on Runeberg, and you know.
Well, Swift is actually trying to play aggressive here on the middle. Of course, since Utopia has an RT and 2 Grilles, they need to locate them fast and maybe close in before Utopia gets on their defensive positions. But it does look like that moment is already over, because FC Dynamo just dodged the bullet and they are all over the rail here. Now this Mrakar on Kranwagen, he's gonna be a real problem for them now. Also, Grilles, one of them is bound to be up on a hill, maybe on both.
Yeah, looking at map control, Utopia is taken here versus Swift. I mean, Swift is taking that 1-2 line, even pushing the Wolf a little bit to try and clear out that K2-3 position, where teams like to make traps, but we can see there is nobody here. And in the meantime, Utopia here taking their side of the map pretty much, if you want to look at it like that. The thing is, though, with 2 Grilles, they don't have a lot of rotation power left, and they need to put the Batshots on the cap.
Yeah, that's the problem now, because they are relying on rotations from Swift and to see them on time and shoot them up. They are now clearing first the A0, which I would say is a dead man spot, because if you leave a spotter there, you just die, because everyone does something like Bihu is now, and you get just spiked pretty much, and no one can help you for real. So Bihu is now in that favorable position, but they do have one guy who can cap here for free. I don't think they need Papapavian much, honestly. But he would get one shot by Kranwagen, so he's not really an option. He has to be one of the Batshots, and if Bihu is up, that's Dynamo.
Well, we'll see. Dynamo on the hill for now. Papapavian on the lower side here. What is the next move here for Utopia? It seems to be like pushing
Bihu went down for a proxy. Bihu went down for a proxy. He's gonna get replaced by a Grille. Grilla is going on A0, so that's the core of their plan. They will have a crossfire by 2 Grillas. And I'm just wondering what's the role of Artie. I mean, Artie is good to dig out
Maybe to hit
Kranvagas and things like that.
you know?
Yeah, but it's good to dig out those. And he's pretty much safe in that hole. So his sole role is to deal with Crespix. There is nothing else. That's why they can't even put him in the cap. Mrakar cannot go in the cap. He really needs to play a cooldown. But he can trigger it, I guess.
Well, he did just start the cap, so there's that. There's still 1 minute and 54 seconds left on that one, so plenty of time, could say, left for Swift here to reset. Barbarian lets off a shot. No connection so far. And now, what does Utopia do to interrupt this?
Well, Utopia is capping. The more important thing is what will Swift do.
Yeah.
So they are... Yep, there we go. You can see that thick gun depression by Crespix. And the more importantly, because they have so many Grillas, they're actually not spotting him there in the center. Now they spotted him, but he already did a decap and damage. And there is a mighty RT shell from 25.
Well, you know, in about... ooh, that one hurt
That was
a
a
little
Grilla.
bit.
That was a Grilla.
That one hurt. That stings a little bit.
Where is the aiming reticle, man?
I do not know. We will see if he can possibly connect onto him, though.
He's waiting for a spot. No,
But
no
I mean,
blind
he
shooting.
can't. Like, I mean, honestly, this tactic from Utopia, it's understandable. If every time Crespix speaks, he exposes himself towards artillery.
Yeah.
Every time.
Atmospheric. He took some damage now because he crossed free kill, also trying to find an arty. They know the arty is the biggest problem for them, but he paid it with himself. Wolf is getting wrecked, man.
Wolf, in the meantime, also paying for it. Dinamo paid for his sins as well, as he goes down. But he did his job, I guess, at this point, as Swift is down again. 2k HP, even on tanks. Obviously, they have one more tier 10 because of Dynamo being dead. But...
there is no more free spotting.
exactly.
And Papa Pavian will shoot the heavies all the time if they play slow. So the next time the Swift pushes, it's going to be a showdown, I would say.
It has to be. They don't have the HP anymore, almost left. Now, you can see Papa Pavian here aiming back onto the position of Crespix. That's what we talked about. If Crespix tries to decap, he will expose himself. If Papa Pavian gets the shot...
I think they must push because they have 3 Bachas on 100% HP. It's going to be a gamble. Will the Grillas connect their shots? It looks like actually they're trying to give a spot for that Kranwagen still, again.
Crespix picks up now. He doesn't get a decap. Takes
And
a
he
shot
gets
in
shot
return,
again.
actually. And the RD shot not connecting. So that gives Crespix a little bit of time here to connect the shot. But Murakar seems to be super hold out on that cap, actually, even with minus 12. The issue is the Grilla in A0. Every time Crespix speaks, he exposes the side of the turret. Again, the thing we talked about with the Kranwagen.
Did he shoot him with HE for 500?
Huh?
Grilla. He shot him for 500. It wasn't.
No. He got a shot from. He got
Oh, there
a
you
shot
go.
from somebody.
There you go.
Dreamlike, though, he exposes minus 1.3. He got a shot from Murakar, I think, because he
This
got
is
hit
so
for
silly
400.
play, man. They had HP to just push with those Bachats and gamble that Grillas will not connect. Now they have nothing. What will they play without now? Like Dreamlike now even doesn't have a driver. He's pretty much useless.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, perhaps Mojo. But yeah, Crespix, and they still have Artie, and it only takes one shot from Papa Pavian to remove one of these players from the map.
Well, one lucky shot or 2 shots. Oh, you are spotted and, well, you realized it.
Oof.
That was close.
Close but no cigar. And Akolostoid moving closer as well. I don't know, this is still really good position here for Utopia. One person on the cap, it is Murakar. Crespix still trying to reset that one, but he has to be careful. Mukana moved closer as well,
This
so
is a good
Crespix
gamble.
can't push
This
up.
is a good gamble, actually, by Skylax, because he can remove Papa Pavian for free. Colestoid would be only one guy in position to actually do something about... Why is Muka down there?
Nobody knows. Skylax did get spotted now, gets tracked. Colestoid from the city actually doing that. Crespix goes down on his Kranwagen. Skylax now gets across. Colosoy, that was a nice clip from him now. 34 seconds. They need to reset at this point. Papapavian actually got safe in his artillery piece as well. 28 seconds. And they could boost the cap right here at this point as Bihu is covering the north. Muka is now moving closer as well. 20 seconds left. This has to be the play from Swift. Mikhailov should be the one to peek over.
The
6,
game is really coming in.
5,
Come on.
4, 3 seconds. Hello, Swift, you need to reset right now. Finally, it is Skylex from the back line that does it.
That was
but
a big
he'll be
risk.
going down in return.
Like if he missed that shot, that would be it. But they now lost a tier 10 budget. Utopia with this more or less, I would say even half passive play. Can't say it's passive because they actually took advantage of their own positions. They are just wrecking Swift and Swift has no response. I would say Swift is really playing too slow on this game. Completely surprised.
Completely getting outplayed by Utopia once more as they still have a decent amount of HP left. 2 tanks left standing from Swift. Dreamlike might be able to kill Bihu. Probably not though, as Rulezik picks up the Wolf. And like you said, Swift, I mean, they're just playing into the hands of this double Gorilla. Dreamlike will probably go down within the next 5 seconds or so. Colosoid picks it up. And that's 4-0. Match point for Utopia. Who would have thought that one?
Massive advantage, complete dominance of Utopia, better ideas, whatever you want. I mean, I like these tactics. The only weakness I can see it is if some more decisive team than Swift played Prokhorovka. Yes,
yeah.
Risks
because
and
you lose
catches
everybody except for Grillis, which is 3.6 HP.
Yeah, because like even if they catch one guy like Kranwagen somewhere on bad position or one of the budgets, whatever, these tactics kind of fall apart because you cannot spread that much anymore. But Utopia played it really well. Swift played at their hand. They played slow, passive, tried to make some mistakes in Utopia's play, and there were none. Utopia was just outplaying them. Even Papapavian, like, he survived 2 attacks on his own personality.
He didn't do much damage probably, but, you know, he didn't have to. Colosoid there,
Fear
Marakar
factor.
as well. Nice.
Fear factor. So Colosoid, Mrakar, Bihu, Muka, Mrakar being there at the top.
Marakar on the top. Yeah.
Well, that's something that we didn't see often in the man.
I didn't want to say that. I just didn't want to say that. I mean, Papapavian did 1080 damage. Is not bad for a tier 8 after all. They're more than 4 players from Swift.
Well, the main thing is he completely denied that Kranwagen from decapping and really made them think what to do
It's
and
like
what
a
to do
double
about
denial,
the RD.
though.
Honestly,
There's the Gorilla, and then there's the RD. So it's like, if Crespik speaks and he exposes too much, he gets shot from the Gorilla. And if the Gorilla misses, there's still RD.
I would say Papapavian actually even underperformed in this game because he missed many shots. But still, the factor that they have him and that there is a potential to hit him, like that Kranwagen was kept out of the game, and that was the base of defense for Swift. Swift thought this will be a simple game, but Utopia is playing really smart, and they are not 1, but like 2 or 3 steps ahead now.
Well, they're 4 rounds ahead to be exact. And moving on to
About the
Cliff.
devil.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Moving into Cliff,
It does look like Utopia is more proactive team here.
yeah, indeed. And Mojo, let's take out the possibly last tank lineups here already. Not yet, actually. Not yet. Okay, my bad. My bad.
Soon.
Soon
TM.
TM. Soon TM. But yeah, Cliff. I don't really fancy Swift on this map.
No, like with their slow rotations, they're really not the best team for something like this. I mean, Utopia in this game showed us they have plan, they have idea how to take the positions, how to go offensive to them, and they looked like a better team for Cliff. I mean, the Cliff is probably the worst map to come back
I
for
can't wait
Swift.
to see an STRV on Cliff on a 6th position. Somebody's going to do it.
Horrible.
Somebody is going to do it. I'm like 95% sure.
Yeah,
Either
no,
the
unlike
tier 10 or the
TVP,
tier
he
9.
can actually stay there because he would
Yeah.
bounce a lot.
So it's either going to be the tier 9 and the tier 9 Batchat, or just the tier 10. As we look at the highlights from the last round here, poor free kill. I mean, it's nice shooting from Dynamo.
Yeah, they really had cover, but Dynamo paid the price there, but it was worth it in this stage of the game. It was worth it.
Yes,
And this was a last-second decap. There was a really huge risk because if he bounced, that would be it. He would not have time to load the next shell.
I mean, at this point, it was already over anyway, so...
Yeah, reactions from Utopia on point, man, all the time. A really big contender.
Well, we'll see a lot after this week. I mean, obviously there are going to be teams that are going to be playing 3 times, so we'll have a pretty visual scoreboard already after those first 3 matches.
Yes, we had a first match and a rematch last season. This time, 3 times everyone. That's going to be quite a decider.
Now, Mojo, I was just teasing with you beforehand. This time we can actually look at the tank lineups. So let's take a look moving into Cliff here. Just, you know, playing with it. Ooh, wow, Swift. That is 2 TVPs and a Skoda? Yeah, I don't know about that.
And the 430, we've seen that played before actually, but too much of Skoda TVP combo there.
Yeah, we've seen the 430, but 2 TVPs and a Skoda with that?
Yep,
I don't know
that's
about
a new
that.
one. On other hand, Utopia, rather standard,
Yeah,
old school
all-round lineup. Papa Pavian in an RT. Yes, T49.
Mobile RT.
We class it as an RT because it's the same thing pretty much.
Man, you hit the budget or TVP it is.
Well, depends on where you hit them.
Still, man. Like that punch and hit shell. If you hit the turret, guaranteed 750.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Should heat or HE.
First shell, always HE, I would say, because you can track.
I'd be risky and I'd always shoot HE, you know. Always go for damage.
HE first shell because you can track, but later hit.
Oh, my luck. Should heat, I'd still track him.
Well, if you are Koritz, you would even miss entire tank.
Wow, that is just not fair towards Koritsa.
But so true.
What was that for?
I don't know, it just came to me. I remembered some scene where he missed a shell.
I don't know about that, man. But Swift here, they're going to have to pull out everything if they want to make it. So let's see if they can pick up their first round, or Utopia is going to take it clean 5-0 on Cliff.
Cliff, the most dynamic map in the league. Battles on Cliff always turn into desperate double-edged fights. Teams start from the same spots as they do in standard battles. The first base is located near the defender's spawn point, and the second is at the bottom of the hill. Sometimes teams split their forces and send several tanks through the 1-2 line to the left of the small hill, but usually both teams play at the center. The attacking team can send one of the tanks up to the lighthouse or behind it. Fast and quick-firing vehicles are better suited for this map, mainly medium tanks, including tanks equipped with autoloaders.
So Swift versus Utopia, 4-0 in favor of Utopia, but don't count Swift out just yet. They're going to be taking the assault on this one. And Mojo, what do you see?
This is a really strange approach by them. It's based on trapping. We can see on minimap those Koda, TVP and Object 430 in a crossfire waiting for someone to come around the corner, maybe to chase that 430, while the other guys are completely defensive, just having one spotter on the middle. Really passive again. Really passive again, and I don't see a single reason why would Utopia actually push them. A lot of damage there coming to a climber like Dynamo. He didn't understand what's going on, and he is taking a whole lot of damage.
This trap works out really well in 7v7 and both 15v15 as well, putting TVPs on that rock. Now I understand why they picked the Skodas, because if you keep driving up, you die. Like
yeah, I completely misplaced it. It was not meant to anyone pushing down.
It was just a trap
pre-aiming
to somebody going up.
Climber.
And Colosoy trying to do the same thing and paying for it as well. 725, 2 misses coming out even. Oof. Some more misses, and that one didn't miss.
Oh man, that's like almost 3,000 damage of advantage, and Dreamlike is up there to
doing some
seal
more.
the job, and he is well protected by his teammates. So really nice start here for Swift. This is the first game actually they showed us something new and surprised Utopia on the start. Now the problem with this is this doesn't work 2 times, but for them at this match they just need it to work once so they can stay in the game.
Well, indeed, and Bihu got spotted out now, and Crespix as well. But Swift has such a big lead, and on a map like Cliff, it's hard to regain that. I mean, it has to be a mistake here coming out from Utopia, but Muka seems to be making one by himself, minus 1.4, getting clipped by Mikhailov from the back, and this is just from bad to worse pretty much for Utopia. But Dreamlike in the meantime making a mistake by himself, goes down to 618 HP.
Does he have a repair?
Yes, he does. But that was also not worth it.
Bihu is pressing from the other side, but I don't know, will that be the best thing, because Crespix is covering there and so is Mihailov. They have advantage there on a Cliff, that's for sure. And we'll see. If Dreamlike falls or Crespix, this attack of Swift can actually fall apart in pieces. But still, so many tanks down on HP from Utopia, it's really hurtful. Ooh, Crespix is getting wrecked.
Crespix making a mistake. It seems like 620 HP left for him. He tried to go behind that safe position over there, and he paid the price. And here, Papapavian versus Skylax, a big hit. 368, not connecting that one. The Wolf on the move, connecting in return onto Papapavian though. And Mocho, this HP lead, it's
melting.
gone.
It's melting, man. As you would say, they're bleeding all over the place. Wolf is on one shot there in his 430, not that bouncy when you shoot him in the side. Papapavian is waiting for that shot on Skylax, and let's see, does he connect it?
Papapavian versus Skylax, and Papapavian!
Mobile RT
by Skylax, and that's the power of the T49 if you can let it be. And Papapavian showing again some power in secondary RTPs. And now saving Muka pretty much with that as Bihu's playing against Dreamlike here. Dreamlike here goes down towards Bihu. Very nice shot there as the Wolf picks up Muka, but Papapavian's not just done with his shenanigans just yet as he gets the Wolf as well. Second kill here for Papapavian, and he is going to be happy about that one.
Honestly, man, there is such a difference when someone plays a tier 8 well in a team. Like, people usually think it's just a suicide tier or whatever. No, it's not. Look at this. The difference, does he connect shells, does he spot well, survive well, there all that matters because you are then equal part of a team. And this is such a turn. Swift had almost 3000 HP advantage. Now they're like almost 1k down. And there are plenty of tanks down.
Yeah, that's was weird how Swift managed to lose all their advantage, and Papapavian here, if Rulesic spots free kill, oh boy, oh boy. He could be in trouble as well. Bihu now kills Crespix. He'll be going safe himself now. We'll have to see if free kill gets spotted at one point because Papapavian is ready for that one. Doesn't seem like it, so lucky free kill.
Papapavian was practicing those climbs a lot, man, in this time. He didn't waste his time. He's doing everything from the first. And you can see a sign here, a memo to our beloved Applewau.
I heard they were implementing one on Ghost Town as well. And Papapavian, 848 onto free kill. Oh, T49, it stings as Rulesic comes and claims the kill. Just Mikhailov left standing, and what an entrance from Utopia into the season as Mikhailov knows it is over. Bihu picks it up 5-0, the first one of the season in favor of Utopia. Congratulations with your first 3 points, and that was
that
pretty
was a
dominating.
Rollover, man.
They go close from Cliff. They wanted to give them some advantage, but even 3000 HP is not enough anymore at this point.
No, Utopia is playing really well. I'm looking forward when they face Ding, Oops, Kazna to see how will that go, because this looks really strong. It doesn't matter if it's start of the season, even when they were surprised now and they took a lot of damage, they still had an idea what to do, how to deal with it, and they didn't hesitate. It wasn't like a gap of like minute and a half, oh, what will we do? We lost 3k damage. No, they were just acting all the time.
Indeed, and again, some mistakes from Swift. Skylax, Crespix. I mean, a lot of individual mistakes here again from the Swift side.
It didn't look like they had a follow-up, did great follow-up. They were surprised actually how Utopia caught up with them. I think they were just surprised by that because the game started so well.
Well, Mojo, let's take a look at the stats from that last round, and pretty certain Papapavian's on top. Well, there he is.
I mean, he may not be top damage in entire match, but for me, he was a player that you could really see and count on. Like, by spotting, by positioning, shooting, whatever.
Not bad whatsoever from Papapavian there. Free killing, that's good, actually being the second damage dealer. And then Muka, Bihu, I see Dynamo, Atmospheric, and Shuku to close out that first page there. I mean, all in all, Utopia's going to be happy with that one. New team, well, you know, new team, you know what I mean, like new players, but strong performance.
Really great. You can see that they practiced a lot. You can see how they incorporated the new players well. So, looking forward from more stuff from them. Swift, at the moment, by this display, I wouldn't say they're that bad, but they look something like a middle of the table toward the lower parts.
Don't count them out, Mojo. Round
Never,
robin
man. They
two.
lost the first match to Utopia last season 5-0 also. So, yeah, there is like two more matches between these to be played. So we will see how will that
Then the
look.
next one will be like 5-4 in favor of Swift, and then 5-0 in the favor of Swift.
But we don't know that. We never saw the third match between them.
I'm just, anticipating.
You think it will be that?
I'm looking into the future.
I think Papa Pau will one-shoot them with Artie, man.
Maybe. Maybe they can play like Himmelsdorf, Roomberg, Ghost Town.
No Artie maps
Exactly.
for the win. True.
Well, maps where T49 really doesn't work out very
Yeah.
well.
Why would you play an Artie map when you don't have a great Artie player in the team?
No idea, Mojo. Let's take a look at the post-match stats and see who it was. And Bihu here.
Bihu, the old reliable sniper / damage dealer, followed by Rulzik Mukka. Wow, what a one-sided game.
Yeah. Kinda.
The only guy from Utopia not on the first page is Papa Pavian, but as I said, I really think he had
Might
a
be
crucial
number
part.
8.
I think he really had a crucial part in all the plays.
Maybe he's on spot number 8, Mojo. Maybe. Or 9.
We will see.
We will have to see. But yeah, all around, great performance from Utopia. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah, he is. And let's see, where is Hylex? Number 10. Not very profitable, man.
It's going to have to do better this weekend.
Crespix on number 14. Well, I don't have any team, so he can stay there.
Yeah, indeed.
I wonder who has him.
Who?
I don't know, man.
Who has him? Ryan?
Does he?
I don't know.
We'll see.
I saw that sneaky smile on your face. Like,
I thought you have it, man.
like
I was
no,
hoping.
no, man. Saw that sneaky.
I was hoping you have it.
I seen that sneaky smile. I was like, Mocho, who has it? Toby, Wojtek.
Oh, Wojtek. He's probably all Polska.
He said he wanted to win.
Well, you think he's not patriotic anymore?
I think, getting beaten by Toby might feel worse than being patriotic.
Probably yes. Probably yes. If you get beaten by your boss who has like 1,000 games, yes.
And 45% win ratio. But Mojo, tomorrow we have some great matches lined up as well. So let's take a look what we got in the next day. First up, Go Hard versus Isuba. But then, boy oh boy, Ding versus Oops.
Well, obviously, first game is just a match to see how Go Hard plays with their new players. Suba is a new team, but Ding and Oops, that's going to be a clash of titans in the moment. So much improvements in Oops lineup there.
An all-star lineup. It is
Pretty
what
much
it is.
European all-star lineup
European
there.
all-star lineup.
And, of course, old culprits, Ding with Ilya now instead of
Ilian.
Mrakar.
That's even more of an all-star lineup.
Yeah, that's going to be a clash of titans, and I'm really waiting for that one.
I can't say right now who I think is going to win between those two. I think Oops could really challenge them even more than they did before.
They challenged them on season finals. It was really close game, 7-5, as far as I remember.
7-6.
7-6, yes, in tiebreaker, and it wasn't even a final game. So it was with all Oops lineup, and this one is even stronger, I think.
And that one is even stronger indeed. But that, Mojo, is for tomorrow. That was it for today. I hope you enjoyed our first day of broadcast. Plenty more to come. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.